Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of Get Off the Damn Fits. That's right, we're back for our weekly podcast. I am Larry Caution, joined as I am by co-host Calvin Thomas, Justin B. the Barber Harris. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight? All is good. All is good. Yeah, we got another week to talk about everything that's happening in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens coming off of a bye. And I got my Ravens shirt on tonight because I'm feeling optimistic. I have a new lease on life. I think it's the new season, and it starts this Sunday, baby. And I'm going to tell you why a little bit later. But we got our full NBA preview. We've gone through every division the last several weeks, going division by division, giving our overall thoughts. But now tonight, we're going to put, picks on the paper. Who's going to win the NBA Finals? We'll give our thoughts on who's making it. We're not going to go division by division and pick because of the play-in tournament. It kind of like throws it a little bit fuzzier with that. So let's just keep it simple. Who's your conference finals? Who's your NBA champion? We're going to do it just like that tonight. So let's start with the NBA. So look, when this time of year, if you are a true sports fan, you can't find nothing on TV to enjoy right now. I don't know what's wrong with you because you got NFL 3 nights a week, 3 days of the week. NBA is on everywhere now with this new schedule with NBC, Amazon, ESPN. Man, it's everywhere. And big time games. And the broadcast teams that they put together. Did you all watch last night's NBA telecast on NBC? It was a delight having to come back. The old song. Yes, sir. And you had Carmelo Anthony, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Michael Jordan at halftime. Like, that was star power, baby. And that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I thought NBC did a hell of a job of bringing back the NBA the right way. And I really enjoyed it. And they were treated with a hell of a game to start it off, too. I mean, that opener with the Houston Rockets and OKC Thunder, phenomenal basketball on the court. I thought Reggie Miller was great on the late night call. I just thought it was good. Mike Tirico, always good on play-by-play, whether it's football or basketball. I thought NBC did a great job. Calvin, what was your thoughts on opening night? Basketball, of course, was great. Overall.
Look, I was pleasantly surprised at the NBC broadcast. They brought back the old theme song to start off the night, which was good. I still getting adjusted to the pregame with Tracy and Vince and Melo. It's going to take some adjustment, some getting used to, but it's cool. I like seeing Marie out there as well. I like seeing Mike Tirico on the call as well. So you hear those familiar voices, but just gotta kind of get used to some of them players because they gotta get that mesh together and
gotta get out your show.
Yeah. I thought they should have featured Melo a little bit more because it was in OKC. He played in OKC, so I think they can kind of take turns because they really have played for probably half the teams in the league altogether. When you think about it,
between the three of them, journeyman.
So you can kind of feature them one by one, but great first night tonight on ESPN with Inside the NBA. Originally when I was watching, I thought they were only going to be on post game at 12 o'clock. So I kept seeing that. I didn't realize that until I did a little more research. But I love that they're still authentically themselves. Same studio. Not a whole bunch of ESPN branding everywhere. You don't see Stephen A. popping up on there yet. So,
but they were presented by Popeyes, which
Look, they had a running joke with that all night. So they're still themselves.
It was a great sponsorship for them.
Hell of a sponsorship. Yeah, Justin,
still in Atlanta, right?
They're still in the same studio. Same studio.
They worked it out. They worked it out to a great deal. First and foremost, the games was great. Like, we can talk about all the personalities and all those things, but if you got a terrible product, then what? People going to tune out right away. So you had two decent, one great game, one decent game. And the fact that, like you said, a lot of these guys, I mean, it's not going to take long for Vince Carter and T-Mac to match. They're cousins. So we got that one side. And Melo is, I've seen T-Mac on Melo's show. That was they had more of a relaxed camaraderie at that time, but it was meant to be a low-key thing. So they're in front of everybody. They know it's nationally televised, and they're a little bit outside their comfort zone. This is like pretty much like a first for all three of them kind of thing to do like to do this spot. So it's going to take time, but I don't see no problems with it. When it comes to scoring the ball, I'm going to listen to every word they say. When it comes to other aspects of the game, I'm gonna take with great thought. But scoring the ball is what I'm going to take. If they say somebody should be scoring right here, I'm going to listen. But besides that, like I said, just more important, like the games itself. That's what you want to have. You want to start off the game, start off the night with really a good game, and that's what we was subjected to. Good start.
Will they be in the studio going forward?
That's a good question.
They probably do a little bit of both.
Yeah,
okay.
Depends on. I think they might travel for Tuesday nights though, if that's going to be that big night of the week.
That's why Melo changed the schedule of his podcast because it used to be on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, if he's trapped, but I thought they would just open the night. They were going to be in Oklahoma City, but okay.
But you never know, like because NBC does have studios. It's not like they don't do this Sunday Night Football in studio every week. So so it's probably a mix. Depends on what's going on.
And it was open at night too, so that throws it
out
out
too. I figure open at night
because inside the NBA used to do that. They do it for big time stuff from time to time. Anyway, I just thought from a basketball perspective on the court, man, Houston.
That was a good game.
Houston held their own. OKC was very sluggish. SGA got off to a slow start, but in the fourth quarter, hey, he does what he do. You know what I mean? Give him all the credit in the world. He missed some free throws. KD missed some free throws, which was surprising.
Yeah.
Which kind of came back to bite him. KD ended up fouling out. But Sengun, I thought he played well.
He looked phenomenal.
I thought he played well.
Especially at the 4?
Yeah.
I didn't think he would play that well at the 4. But
I thought their lineup was very versatile. They were like HJ mentioned in our group chat, very tall. You know, they had a lot of length out there. Pause. But I thought it was
obvious.
But look,
I'm sorry.
I give credit to Alex Caruso because I thought his defensive intensity in the fourth quarter, forcing some turnovers, helped swing that momentum, and that's when the game turned on his head. One Lou Dort. I know I've been hearing that today. I'm like, no, go back and watch it.
He did give KD some problems. Like we're not gonna act like he didn't, and he can shoot an open shot. So we're not gonna act like he
KD missed free throws. I mean, he was hacking.
KD make that free throw. He made that free throw. They win.
Lou Dort is at that level now where he can hack, and they won't call it. He you gotta earn that privilege. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
You gotta earn it, man.
That's nice.
But give your boy Chet some credit too, Calvin. He wasn't bad. Bad.
Came to play like when they a man short. They without Jason
that man short. I'm gonna go right to you right now. With that man short, is once he comes back, does Chet go to the 3, like the third scoring option, or he stays at 2?
No, he stays second scoring option.
Stays at number 2.
Second scoring option.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I thought from a matchup perspective, I would not be shocked to see these two teams deep in the playoffs once again, and matched up against each other at some point. We'll talk about predictions later. But KD, like somebody said, he is one of those anomalies where if there's a team that's ready-made, you put him on that team, he can instantly take them over the top.
Anywhere.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying he can build a team, but if the team has substance already that already is there, you add him, he's difference maker.
He's like a Darrell Reeves, a Deion Sanders. He can just fit in and it's no problem. He doesn't alter anything. But at the same time, I do think they need to constantly look for a point guard. I saw what he was trying to do. It's just at times it looked a little a little congested. Sengun had a monstrous game, but it was times he was posting up from the 3-point line. To try to get into his like that's too much. You need somebody to set him up. And Thompson just doesn't have the right accurate jumper for me to provide that space. So they got some issues to work out, but it's good issues. Like it's not the end of the world. They can figure this out. They can just get on a call, get some talent in there. You just need somebody that can bring the ball up effectively, that can shoot an open shot. We don't need him to be the greatest athlete or nothing like that. They have 6'11" on out. It's not going to be too much, but they just need a little bit more when it comes to that. And I think that's the only struggle they're going to have until they address it.
Look, I agree with your KD point. Like plug and play, especially when on a defensive team like that, when you just need someone to get buckets occasionally. Like I'm gonna give you the ball, I know what you're gonna do, and I'm still gonna get a bucket. Great. As far as the point guard is concerned, I agree. I think it may not become a factor in the playoffs, but at least now you have someone to get your scorers easier shots. Sengun played a lot better offensively than I thought he would, being a number 2 option or 1A, however you look at it. But I agree with the point guard.
Let's answer that question. I'm
Is
gonna talk, Paul. I'm gonna throw it to Larry. Is Sengun number 1 or number 2 with Kevin Durant there on that scoring option?
He should be number one. He should be number 1. But I think ultimately, because KD don't take a lot of shots, he shoots a high percentage.
Yeah.
So I just think you could live with him being the number 1. But like you said, back to your point, if you had a guy setting him up to get him easier looks, I think that would be more successful. But he's going to shoot a percentage that might not be the best if he keep happening, like you say, try to go posting up from the 3-point line in, and then you do clog in the lane. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought KD took some ill-advised 3-pointers last night that he typically wouldn't if the spacing was better. I thought the floor spacing wasn't great, particularly in the fourth quarter. I thought they started out fantastic, but something happened late in the game, and that's just a championship. That's the defensive prowess of the Thunder that probably impacted that more than anything. But you can tell that the coaches were furious with some of this floor spacing from Houston's perspective and some of the ill-advised shots. And I think it's game 1. I mean, they'll get better. 1. You just add KD night 1. So I think we'll find out in 2 weeks. We'll know more.
Yeah, and they played a defending champ. So OKC didn't have their third option as well, so they kind of played. They didn't play well altogether. But for a Houston team, this is their first game together in the regular season. They played well. They should have won the ball game, in my opinion. KD doesn't miss free throws often. He makes one more free throw, they win that ball game in regulation.
It doesn't even, or it makes him have to shoot a 3.
Or it makes him have to
SGA had to go get to a spot, and he took a jumper. I mean, that's all it was. Like that's what got him to the first overtime. But anyway, interesting. What about the late game? Quite honestly, I didn't expect much without LeBron and Luka as a tandem. What did you see, Calvin, from this Lakers team? Luka was fantastic. Luka
was phenomenal.
I think he pulled up a little gimpy late in the game.
Yeah, he said it was okay, but yeah, it was something to worry about.
Thoughts?
Luka came out looking great. I think I had 43, 12, and 9, I believe. He looked phenomenal.
41, I believe.
The 8 piece, the 41, the 8 piece bugs me already. Like it has to be some.
It's game 1.
Some semblance of a big man with the pick and roll. Something about getting easy buckets and getting rebounds. I don't know. It has to get better, I guess. Maybe it'll get better when Braun's back on the court as well. I thought the Connect should play. You needed shooting out there at a point. Connect was a DNP. Don't understand that. Gabe Vincent played too much to only shoot 1 of 5 or whatever he hit with 1 3-pointer, but you got to live with that as well.
It's not there for defense.
Look, but Austin Reeves played well. Played well as well. The problem I have is they don't have a true point guard either. They have 2 point guards that go out and get buckets. They don't have point guards that can set the other players up for shots.
Well, Luka played with the ball. I mean, it is.
It was him and Austin Reeves, but they're shooting over 50%, but they just can't get anyone else open look. So if it's not 1-on-1 with Luka or Austin Reeves, I'm kicking to you late, make something happen, and it's not going to be a good look. So
yeah. Justin, any thoughts on this game?
No, real quick, I apologize. He did score 43. He played 41 minutes. That's where I got the 41 from. So that's my bad on that. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's all on Ayton. He only had like 10 points. Yo, y'all scored like over 100 points.
5 rebounds.
I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more assertive.
Yeah.
If he can't do it, then they need to find someone, post haste to get this done. Because that's going to be their Achilles heel. It was Achilles heel last year. It's going to be a same thing again this year. You cannot go against these teams with this size pause and expect to hold your own. You're going to lose. It's a losing effort, and it sucks because you had one of the greatest wing players right now, one of the greatest point guards that you have, like literally right now. And you have LeBron James that's aging, but he can still put in some good work, and we'll see what happens this particular season. But you're going to waste them. So they definitely need to get that addressed. But shout out to Golden State. I'm watching you guys.
Yeah.
You guys, Steph was Steph. Steph got into his unfago mode. Jimmy Butler
shots, boy.
was Timothy Butler for a long stretch of this game,
just from the free throw line.
And that's what you want him to do. So that's what you brought him over for. And Kuminga, despite everything that happened in the offseason, he played a decent game. So this is the Golden State Warriors. The age on this team is the only thing I have issue with. We'll see how long this thing can last, because they are your main two guys is like 35 years old. That's not easy to go through a whole 82 games with. But we'll definitely see with that. But yeah, shout out to Golden State, man. They came out and they came out firing, man, and they got the dub.
The thing with Golden State is going to come down to health, and that's what we've said. Yeah. I don't know how many years in a row, but when you have an aging team like this, but quietly they do have a lot of young players as well. But when you got Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler as your 1 and 2, health is, and they have historically been nicked up. You know what I mean? So we'll keep an eye on that.
Shout out before we do that. Shout out to Draymond Green getting his first technical of the season. You got to get it to game 1 to get it out the way. We'll see how many he has moving forward. Got to get that first one out the way. Go ahead.
Pathetic. So continue on open night. So tonight, Cleveland and New York. With the 7:00 game, the late game in San Antonio and Dallas. I know at halftime, New York was up about 15. That was the last time I checked. Can I get a score?
And then we just send it again. 101-89. It was like 87 all.
Yeah,
so
well, they were.
We went on another run.
Yeah.
All right. So it's over?
No. It's 8 minutes ago. Fourth quarter. Who knows?
Okay. So just continue on opening night. Like I said, we talked about inside the NBA, but as far as the teams on the court, that Dallas San Antonio game, I can't wait to take a look at that tonight. I'm gonna make sure as soon as we start filming, catch the second half of this game. But that one is one I circled early on, because I want to see what this Dallas team look like. I want to see what the rotations they use. No Kyrie, but they still have a lot of talent there. So I love to see that. Justin, start us off. What was your thoughts on that Knicks Cavs game? I know you were watching that earlier tonight.
Just understanding the spacing. We were without a few. Hey, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna just get that right down to it. The tea leaves amongst the Knicks. At first, it seemed like Karl Anthony Towns was not going to play, and then Josh Hart is not playing, and Mitchell Robinson is also out. So and Karl injury was like, where did that come from? Like we didn't even see that coming. And then it was word. This is all rumors that Giannis was not playing tonight. So it didn't take much for the New York rumor mill to say, "Oh shit, they about to get traded. Relax on that. Karl Anthony Towns did play. I think that Giannis is also playing tonight. So we're not going that far. But when I tell you, I was going through the Ian Begleys of the world and all that just to make sure. But
nigga, see that blue check mark,
right? Rest be sure. We're playing a decent game. Cleveland is they're playing very tough. They're playing very, they're doing what they're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, I want to say this now. I'm not expecting. I don't want us to be number one in the conference. I don't expect us to be number one. I don't want that, because that means there's a good chance that we if I can get that and we all are averaging like 35 minutes a game, great. You're gonna hear me boast most nights, but I don't want to burn our guys out playing 40 plus minutes and just to get some regular season dubs. We're not about that. But to get hopefully we get this victory. That'd be a great start. But like you said, Larry, I'm more tuned into the second game. It's just it's less nerve-wracking for me. So just watch it for the entertainment part of it. When you had Cooper Flag, AD, and them boys going against Wemby and his squad, we're really waiting for Wemby to take that next step. I think all of us can say that. Yeah. Like, we're really waiting for him to see if he's going to do it. And that blood clot last year took him out. Just, I mean, snatched him out the season. Like, he's not hurt. He's not like physically like no major boom, boom, bang, bang injuries. It was just that clock to say, you know what? Have a seat, sir. And he had to go through the rest of the second half of the season just watching. So he came in better shape. He's added some muscle. He looks totally different than his rookie year. I mean, which he's supposed to, but he looks a little bit more menacing. And I hope that Wemby's decade of dominance starts. That's what I'm waiting for. So that's what I'm actually tuning in for.
Well, I'm tuning in because I need Karl-Anthony Towns to get 20 points, and I need Jalen Brunson to get 25. And he's got 20, and Towns is stuck on 19. Pick it up. Don't be choking in the fourth quarter. Let's go. Calvin, any thoughts on the games tonight?
I want to go back to one thing you said, Justin. Weren't you in favor of keeping Tibbs, or you wanted to get fired?
No, I wanted a offensive philosophy. Okay. I wanted an offensive led mind. Okay. So that's what I
could remember. I knew somebody was on the bus with firing him along with me. I wasn't firing him.
I said keep him.
I wasn't firing him to get Mike. To get
Mike.
You wasn't. Yeah, and y'all both had y'all segment against me on that particular moment, but. As long as he can keep us fresh and keep the offense flowing, which he's doing.
He played LeBron 39, 40 minutes a game.
He ain't had no choice back then.
Wait. That was a freaking nature. LeBron James in his younger career. That dude was different.
I do like the fact you're seeing some new faces. I like the backup point guard y'all got that seems to be getting the ball in transition and pushing and getting easy baskets. I like the fact that you're running early as well without Jalen Brunson kind of being Jalen Brunson centric on offense. So there's some things that I like early.
Yes, sir.
On the other hand, I mean, Cleveland is missing Darius Garland, so they're missing one of their top players. I like Evan Mobley being aggressive early on in the game, at least when he was taking advantage of his matchup. I think he needs to have a big year for them to make the finals.
And Mitchell's trying to win a scoring title as he, you know.
I mean, that's what it seems like. But I like the Lonzo Ball acquisition. I didn't know he still wasn't healthy or still can't.
When is he healthy?
I mean, look, I thought that was someone that Houston should have won after. We need a point guard, but if he's on he can only play 10 minutes, then I don't see that. But look, I'm looking forward, like y'all said, the San Antonio Dallas game. I want to see Cooper Flag. I want to see Wemby. I want to see Cooper Flag run the point, which he's going to do while Kyrie is out. I want to see how that looks. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think
it's going to be more PJ Washington than anybody else.
I think you're setting up. I think PJ Washington got to be a second scorer, which is why you don't want the ball in his hands all that much, at least early on. So I look, if that's the case, then you got to relook at this Luka trade. I think if you're including Cooper Flag, I've heard a lot of talk about people having this team in championship conversation. If Kyrie comes back at the beginning of the year, I'm still not sold on it. Like I don't think Kyrie will
sold
be
on
Kyrie
the idea of it, or just fact that they can't. You don't think they can do it at all.
Or
I don't think they can do it from a health standpoint. Like I don't think Kyrie will be Kyrie this year. I don't think Cooper Flag will be at a point where you need him to be your third option this year. So that's all it is.
Why not?
If you told me if they were all healthy, then yeah, with Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
I don't think I think his best position may be like on the wing or even playing the 4, which means AD plays the 5. So we'll see how that goes late in games. AD got to stay healthy, of course, was a big if. So I think it's a lot of questions need to be answered now. Cooper Flag is in the best position of any rookie in the last 20 years.
100%.
When you're joining the championship contender, you're the third scoring option, and you've got a great coach, and you've got all those things. So I just don't know if he'll be ready from that perspective, because I think when Kyrie comes back, then you have to get adjusted to a whole nother system, and then that's like adjusting mid-season to a different role, and you got to get ready in 2.5 months or a month of the playoffs. So that's just my point. That's my perspective from that, but. I think from a health standpoint, I don't know if everyone can stay healthy and then stay healthy for 6 months and then come in April and be ready for the playoffs. But looking forward to seeing Cooper Flag, looking forward to seeing Wemby. I think De'Aaron Fox is out, so I'm looking forward to seeing more Dylan Harper as well. Didn't really watch a lot of him in college, but I saw him in summer league, so I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. But it's good games all this week across all these networks you got to check out.
Yeah, so opening week going to be great. But don't forget Amazon on Friday night. Doubleheader there, so that'd be your first one.
Who's the color commentator for Amazon?
Grant Hill.
Keep going. I'll let you know.
I think
I
it's Grant.
thought Grant Hill was on Peacock yesterday. I thought he was on there. He did the Lakers game last night.
But I think some of the NBC and Amazon people might be like they do double duty. I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, check that out for us, Justin. Report back. Let's keep it moving. So yeah, we got a lot of big stuff coming up. The NBA Cup returns in November, so that'll be coming up. That's something to look forward to. Really at the end of October, next Friday is stuff.
Oh, next Friday, yeah.
Wow,
next Friday.
Good, great. So yeah, the whole month of November will be the NBA Cup. So, what's your thoughts on this? Bringing that back and having it as something to count early in the season. The players will have to get up for early in the season. I'll start with you, Calvin.
I've warmed up to it because I think it gives them something to play for. What I would like to see is the continued growth of the NBA Cup. It's like have the finals in a city that doesn't have an NBA team. Have it in Seattle, who doesn't have a team right now. You know, kind of that's kind of how you expand the game. I don't want to I'm not saying having Hawaii or even having in Vegas. It's fine when you have everyone travel to Vegas, but it's hard to do it a week before Christmas. So if you have that in a place that doesn't have an NBA team but has the arena for an NBA team, that's another way to grow the game. See if that city
come on the Baltimore, baby.
Yeah, see if that city can actually sustain the NBA team, or see if they have the it'll be easier because you'll have two pretty good teams. But I think this is one of my ideas. But I'm really open to the NBA Cup more than I have been in previous years. You get a chance to see teams that you don't get to see a lot. You get to see them finally make that run to the playoffs. 2 years ago it was Indiana, and last year they made the finals. So you kind of see up and coming teams and give them something to progress to even before taking that step on the big stage in the playoffs. So I'm for it.
I like that. Justin, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And they're smart. They would advertise the crap out of that. Indiana winning this thing or whatever, going to the finals of it, and then look, next thing you know, they're in the finals of the NBA. Like you got lucky on that one, or did you? No, I'm joking. So let me answer the previous question. The play-by-play for Amazon is Iron Eagle, Kevin Holland, and others. The main commentators, Stan Van Gundy, Brent Burry, Steve Nash, Dwayne Wade, Candace Parker, Del Curry, Dirk, and Blake Griffin.
D Wade and
I forgot that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. His son was on there last night, not Iron Eagle. His son that used to do the Clippers games. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Stan Van Gundy, I knew he was a color guy. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm honestly, Calvin, your pitch for this particular it sold me, bro. Like I was about to go on my regular tirade. It's worthless and all this other stuff, but it's good for the players on the bench and everything. But if you can tell me that you're selling, you're advertising a game for nationally, to teams that might not have, cities that don't have a franchise. Some cities don't have any sports franchise, and college is their highlight. I'm not saying we're not saying that this is like an all-star weekend there. It's just a few games and just see what it is. You get in, play a game, and get up out of there. So I like that. I hope they do that. So let's clip this up. Let's send it to Adam Silver and the crew. And let's rock with it, because that's a much better idea than having the same thing in Vegas the whole time. It's just I think it's gonna get played out a little bit, but. I don't have anything other than that. Like I said, I don't like it. I just think it's just an advertisement. And if I was a plan, I feel the same way. Look, they just they just got extra cameras out here tonight. That's all.
It's the same games you will be playing on the schedule. Mm-hmm. To just make them mean something. So anyway, I don't mind it.
Until you get to the championship.
Yeah, let's keep moving. So let's talk about some superlatives for the season. Starting it off. So the reigning MVP is SGA. Coming into this season, he looks like he's the favorite to win it again. But I've heard some different opinions around the league, talking to different people, that certain guys have something to prove this year, going to take another step. Who wants to go first? Who is your MVP? We typically go in alphabetical order, so let's keep that moving. Calvin, who you got?
So I think it's easy to say Jokic or SGA. They've been the top two the last 2 years. I think SGA has the potential to go back-to-back. Without saying one of those two names, I'm going to go Anthony Edwards. I think you lose Nickeil Alexander-Walker, you're going to have more responsibility on offensive end and the defensive end. He has that whole. I was in the Olympics with these guys. I see what it takes. Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. You take a step back. The following year, last year, I think he's the guy that wants to win. He's the guy who wants to prove that he's up there in that echelon. I should be mentioned regularly with your Lucas and your better guards in the league. I think he takes that next step, and I got Anthony Edwards win the MVP because they're going to have a better record than either OKC or Denver as well. So that's going to be the surprise part.
Justin, who you got?
Go ahead on and throw it in my face. Pause when I say this. I'm gonna get. I know I'm gonna get disrespected. You know what I'm saying? I know that they're gonna say it's too early. It ain't gonna work
Wemby.
out like that. They're not gonna have. It's gonna be Wemby. That's my MVP.
I love that I love that.
I think defensively. And when you just take all his numbers and put it together, that's what will make him stand out. He just got to get top 6. If he can get top 6 in the league when it comes to that record, that is tough. I know it's tough.
In the West.
I'm stretching to say overall. So that's probably top 4 in the West. If he can get that, I mean, and I'm talking about the bottom, he could be like 4 seed. Maybe within a game or two. The Western Conference seeds 2 through like 8 was separated by only like 4 games. So he could be in the mix, even if he's a 6 seed or whatever, just because the records are so close. And if he can have 25, 10, 6, 7 assists, 5 blocks. Well, that's crazy. 3 blocks a game. That's maybe a steal and a half or whatever. Man, you're gonna look at that stat line versus other guys, and they might put up 30, but they're not doing the same thing defensively and give you offense. So I think it starts now for Wemby. You just gotta stay healthy.
Okay. Well, I'm going with Nikola Jokic. I just think revenge year, baby. I think this team is better. I think he is on a mission. I think he's consistent. Go look at his numbers the last several years. Like SGA edged him out last year. I think he won a lot because of better record. But just look at this man's numbers. Everything you're saying about Wemby, outside of the blocks, Jokic is that guy. You're describing Nikola Jokic. And I just think he's just the man. And I think he has something to prove this year. I think they got rid of a huge headache in Michael Porter Jr., and I think that will help with floor spacing. He's just he added nothing. And I think Jokic is going to be on a mission this year. His assists will be up. He's just great, man. He's great. I got Jokic. All right. Who you got for Coach of the Year, Calvin?
So I went back and forth with this one because I think this is going to really depend on how a newcomer or a coach elevates his new team. So I'm going to go with Mike Brown in New York. I think they will be the number 1 seed. I think they'll surpass the Cleveland. I think they will win more games than they did last year. I think they will approach 60 games. And I think it'll be talk about how so many New York players are involved in the end of the year awards. Jalen Brunson with MVP, most improved player, defensive player of the year. And I think that's going to be attributed back to Mike Brown and how he developed this coach and developed these players on the court and allowed them to play more players and then be healthier going into the playoffs. So I'm going to give it to Mike Brown.
Justin, who you got? Don't take my pick.
I'm going also with Mike Brown because if we can have a really good record, they're going to say, like, well, what's the difference between this team and Tibbs' team? But like I said, if the other, like Calvin just said, if the other award starts to be mentioned, like, hey, JB could be MVP, OG could or Mitch could win Defensive Player of the Year. Josh Hart might be 6th man in the year. Karl Anthony Towns is an all-star, and we perform well. I don't see why he wouldn't get it based off everything that he had to, the fresh face in this situation. And he just took this team and took us to the number 1 record. So it's a way for him to get it. I think he got it before, so he's not going to be pressed over it, which is important. Like I said, this is a meaningless award when it comes to coaches. Often it means your ass is about to get fired soon. So hopefully that's not the case. But I just think is pretty there for him to get. And my runner-up will be San Antonio's coach. So there we go.
Carl Anthony Towns has been stuck on 19 points.
He might be it for the rest of the game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, he might
Not
be
gonna lie
done.
to
There's
you.
only like 30 seconds left, and they shooting free throws, so he ain't shooting free throws.
7 minutes. He needed 1 point.
Yes, I don't know if he was in the game, but he definitely is.
I hate basketball, but
It's only night 2.
my pick is Ime Udoka, Houston Rockets. I think he is. I think he's the difference maker. I think what he will get this team. I know KD is the addition, but again, they made the trade to make this team better because they thought that adding KD, losing some of the depth that they had, wouldn't be as big a deal because they had the coach who can get it done, and they got that guy who can get them over the top. And I think Ime is going to do a hell of a job with this team, and I think he will be the coach of the year. That's my number 1 pick for coach of the year this year. Comeback player of the year. No. Let's do, what is it? Six man of the year. Excuse me. Let's start this time with you, Justin.
Josh Hart, without a doubt. And I'm not being biased. He's a starter that got demoted to the bench for the betterment of the team. So he's going to play like a starter. He's not going to think that he's 6 man. And he's going to give you the points. He's going to give you the rebounds and all those things. So I think it's his to win. And a runner up will be I'm gonna go with Caruso because he's a very, very similar player, a little bit more tenacious on defense, while the other one's a little bit more tenacious on the boards. But yes, they're very similar players. So 1-8, well, not 1-8, 1 Josh, 2nd Caruso.
Calvin, who you got?
I don't know if I gotta look and see if he's gonna actually start. Last I checked this team, it was kind of indecisive what they were starting. I was gonna go with Collins from the Clippers. I'm not sure if he's going to start or not, but if he gets enough games off the bench, I'm gonna have John Collins as my 6 man of the year. If not, then I was going to go with Alex Caruso, but I got to see what their starting lineup is. I think he has the potential to be the 2nd best player on that team, especially with Kawhi Leonard in and out of the lineup. They're going to rely on him. He's going to be their best rebounder. He can get easy shots. He can play off James Harden. He can be set up by Chris Paul. He has the potential to average, almost a double-double, in my opinion. If he doesn't start, I got John Collins as my MVP from the Clippers.
Well, he got 3 minutes right now, so
he probably
and there's 2 minutes left. So no, he only played 3 minutes. So I'm assuming he came off the bench.
Okay.
Yep.
The man needed 1 point, guys. 1 point. Anyway,
look, did they win the game, sir? That's the most important thing in all this other stuff. No one cares about these little fancy numbers.
I don't care about winning, but when the Eagles play football. But anyway, Naz Reid, I like him. I think he'll get some good consideration. He might end up a starter after a while, but I like him out there in Minnesota. And I think if you're thinking that Anthony Edwards is going to finish high in MVP vote, that means he's going to have a lot of wins. And I think he's going to be a big contributor to that team if that is the case. All right. So we did MVP. We did Coach of the Year, 6 man of the year. I think that's about it, right?
Most improved. I don't count clutch because it's like.
Yeah, those are like superlatives that they do just for fun. We don't need to get into it.
We want to do Rookie of the Year unless we all agree.
Well, who is your Rookie of the Year? Cooper?
I think I would have said I think it's going to be Cooper. I think I'm surprised by how much, because I think the 76ers played tonight, about how much VJ Edgecombe played. Because he had like 14 points early on, which I'm like, it's no Paul George didn't play, so that kind of maybe said that. But the amount that he was used early on was surprising. But I think it's going to be Cooper Flag. He's going to have the ball in his hand too much. He's going to be able to do too much offensively.
I figure in seasons like this, when you have this much hype, you just got to be like,
PJ Edgecombe got 30.
Average. Pause.
Edgecombe got 30 right now in his first game.
It won't matter if Cooper just plays average. And average could be 15 points for him, and they're winning games. He's going to get it. So this Cooper Flag, he got too much hype. Even if other plays better.
MB got 4.
4? Is it early?
In the fourth quarter, he got 4.
God. I'm glad I didn't
minutes
put
has he
him on no
played?
ticket. Yeah,
20.
pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. All right, let's get to these playoff things. Because look, the Eastern Conference. I know who y'all picked when we went around and did our division by division, but let's sum it up. Who do you have as your Eastern Conference Finals coming out this year? Considering all the injuries, everything we know, Calvin, who's the two teams that will battle to get to the finals from the East?
I got the Knicks and Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Orlando beats Cleveland to get to Eastern Conference Finals. So I got the Orlando Magic and New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Justin, who you got?
I'm gonna stay with the top seed, and I'm gonna go with the Knicks and the Cavaliers.
Okay. That's where I'm going. I'm a Cavs guy. Y'all know that. I think Donovan Mitchell, who played phenomenal tonight, by the way,
And he
will
came
do
out
enough.
with an L, as he normally does.
It's fine. It'll be all right. But we know what the Knicks do in the playoffs. Just remember that.
Make it further than the Cavs.
It won't happen this year. So and I
So
wouldn't
Cavs
be
going to
shocked.
the championship.
You know what? No.
That's what you just said.
I'm going with the Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks because the Hawks gonna beat the Knicks again. Trae Young. Come on, choke artists.
Make sure we clip this.
No, I'm joking. No, I like the Knicks and the Cavs in the Eastern. All right, let's go to the West. For me, I'll start us off. Y'all know I love me some Denver. I'm going with the Denver Nuggets and the Houston Rockets as the final two teams coming out of the West. Look, I like Dallas, but like the questions about Kyrie, that's the only trepidation I have there. OKC.
What's your team? What's your teams again? You said OKC and who?
Denver and Houston.
I'm sorry, you said OKC and who else?
I didn't have OKC. Nope. I
Okay,
think
cool.
OKC.
Just want to make sure.
OKC went 7 with my team last year, if you recall. Like, let's not act like Denver just laid down or nothing like that. And had we not had MJP, that bum missing Waddle and jumpers left and right,
MPJ,
we might have had him. You know what I meant. Anyway, I like Denver and I like Houston, and I think, like you say, like you say, they need a point guard, but I think that'll be worked out. I like Houston and I like Denver. Justin, who you got?
Let's go OKC and let's go Houston.
Okay.
I think they work it out. I think they'll find somebody to play the point. I don't think it's hard. Like I said, shit, call up Ben Simmons if you want to. Just find someone to bring the ball up, and let Sagoon and KD do their thing. And yeah. I'm gonna go with that. Shout out to Ndoku. Solid team.
Calvin, who's your 2?
Why didn't Houston call Russ? Okay.
KD said no.
That's what I thought. I got OKC Denver. So I got that. I got that meeting taking place.
It's like a mix of the teams.
I got that meeting taking place in the West Conference Finals this year. I think Houston. I think they need a point guard, but they also need stability in the backcourt. I think Amen Thompson's the one that's in Houston, I believe, not Asar. I think Amen. He's gonna be like most improved, like just because of the amount of touches he's gonna have. He could be a defensive menace, but I just don't know if they're all ready. Like the only one that really has championship, pedigree, besides if you count Udoka, is Steven Adams, and that was what 4, 5, 6 years ago, back when he was still in OKC. So I just think they don't have enough, and it'll show late. So I'm gonna go with Denver OKC.
All right, and who's your finals, Calvin?
I got Denver in the Knicks.
You on the Denver train this year?
I got Denver in the Knicks.
Right?
It's not that I'm a Jokic hater. I just thought that there always was someone that outplayed him. I think now this is the deepest team he's been on. They have actual bench. They actually have a backup center. So if Jamal Murray stays healthy, you have a better wing player in Cam. I'm blanking on his name right now. I'll give it to Cam Thomas. You have a better wing player for MPJ. They have all the elements. they have all the elements to be a better. This is the best Denver team, in my opinion. Jokic is on. If Jokic plays like he's capable of playing, I don't really see anyone that could stop him. So I got Denver and the Knicks.
Proud of you. Justin, who you got?
I got New York, and I have Houston.
Okay.
I just think that once they get it, they're gonna get it. And I think Sagoon is going to take over the world. I think he's going to be. I think he's the most improved player because he's going to be a straight star next to KD.
He already averaged 20. It's hard to go most improved when you already did that.
When you go for 20 to 20, let's say 20 to 25, and you're being that guy to close out. Like I said, they lost against Golden State, but I think they learned a lot. I think they learned a lot.
First bucket.
Say it again.
So he missed the oop for his first bucket.
Who, Cooper Flag?
Oh, Cooper?
Yeah.
Boy, them hands jittery, boy.
Nerves, man.
But yeah. But I got the Knicks in Houston. Yeah, for sure.
I got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Finals. I think that these teams have been on the cusp the last 3 years. If you're looking at from their regular season records, have not performed well. Injuries really hurt the Cavs last year. Go back and look at that squad. They were prime and ready, and then all of a sudden, one after another. So, and it happens. We've seen it. It happens. But I think they're healthy. I think they're ready. And I like them, but I got Denver winning the NBA championship. That's my champion for 2026. I just think that guy, I don't know who can stop him. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe Wemby, but will they match up? I don't know. If Joel Embiid was still the old Embiid, yeah, but there is no big man who can match him. And I think he has the supporting cast to make this team just ready enough. And I love the Cavs, but they got no answer. Look, I'm not going to say got no answer, but it'll be interesting. But I like Jokic. That's my champ. Justin, who's your NBA champion?
Cooper bring
Orange
ball
and blue
up.
skies.
Okay.
Orange and blue skies. That's all that matters.
Congratulations.
It's time.
Okay.
Calvin?
Look, I think I got Denver and the Knicks, as I said. If you tell me Game 7 is in MSG in June
Barbecue chicken
on a Sunday, and you know you got this Knicks team, you got Madison Square Garden jumping.
Barbecue chicken.
I think Jokic kills their hopes, but it's an entertaining Game 7. It's an entertaining Game 7.
They got no answer.
It's probably 130
Mitchell
to 120.
Robinson is enough
I got
contest.
Denver. I got
Jokic. That's all
Denver.
I'm saying.
I'm not saying this is a comeback year for Denver for the Jokic. I think this is just Jokic is going to do his thing, and he actually has help, and he has healthy help, and I think that's it.
All of this is going to be dependent on health. I mean, and not any of these dreams could be dashed in a month if somebody get hurt. But we talking about if healthy. I just think that's just the way it's going to be. But I would not be shocked if Houston goes on a run. I would not. I'm not going to put that on.
I still think they need a point guard. I got talked into that. I just don't know where you find one. I mean, and even if you like send out Van Fleet's contract, I don't know. I think he just signed a deal for some reason, but I think they need a point guard. Even if it's a backup point guard, it's not just starter. You just need another ball handler.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've gone through it all, and we'll continue to monitor this. I'll put this all on a graphic so that we can have it all to refer to later in the year and do our mid-season check-in and all that good stuff. NBA's back, baby, so it's always good that time of year to go over. And
all right, fellas, that's it for tonight.
No, sir. We got a lot to cover now because something happened. Life is still not grand in Tampa Bay, so we got to talk about that. The NFL Week 7 took place this past week, and we had some very difficult matchups. We had some tough times, injuries abound. The Ravens were on a bye, so luckily they didn't have. But we had. I don't want to start with any doom and gloom. I want to start with a big story in the NFL right now, and that's the Dallas Cowboys, man. Shout out the Dallas Cowboys and that offense, which looked like, man, they could beat anybody. And we talked about this. if they had a semblance of defense, this team would be dangerous. This team would be dangerous because they look absolutely deadly on Sunday, beating down the Washington Commanders 44-22. Commanders had some injuries, no doubt, but Dallas had injuries too. It's not like nobody's really healthy at this point in the season. Sorry about that, Justin. But so you know what I mean? Things happen. You know what I mean? This is the NFL, but you still got to give credit where credit is due. They got CeeDee Lamb back, and they didn't miss a beat. It looked like those two receivers looked like two of the top. They look like the receivers in Cincinnati, like we talked about. Like George Pickens is earning himself some money week after week after week. Sensational performance by the Cowboys. I picked them last week. Calvin, you picked them too, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think one of us didn't pick them. We'll get to that. They'll get to that opinion in a couple minutes. Look, they were supposed to win this matchup. When your opponent doesn't have both of their starting receivers and Debo and Terry McLaurin, their starting quarterback goes out. They're supposed to win this matchup. They're supposed to put up numbers up. I continue to say this offense is Cincinnati West, especially when they are healthy. When you have CD and Pickens, there was a point in time, I believe, until mid-third quarter, where it was Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Ferguson were the only three people that caught the ball. So it is a fantasy player's dream if you had one of the three of them, but they're getting all the targets. When CeeDee and Pickens get 10, 12 targets apiece, when Ferguson gets 8, this is video game offense. This is what they're supposed to do. This is what they do on offense. It's just the defense has to step up. And I don't think they will. If they play a competent offense, it'll just be a shootout, in which we saw early on when they played Green Bay. But until that point, the offensive line's gotten better. The run game has been acceptable, and it's respectable. So when you need to get 1-2 yards, you can run the football. So things are cooking on offense in Dallas. You have these picks. You're hoping to the future is bright. But for this year, this offense is, top 2, top 3 offense in the league, week in and week out, no matter where they're at and who they're playing. So,
Justin, your thoughts?
JD5 is definitely in a sophomore slump. We're going to throw that aside right now. This Cowboys team, man, you know what? It's refreshing to know that this team is firing on offensively like this, and the defense did enough. 22 points is pretty good in today's NFL. So that's a 22-point victory. So it pays to show it when you stick by your team, good things happen. I wish I can say that on this panel, but somebody did not do it. But with that being said, they had an awesome match, an awesome night. And we see if they can keep things going. Washington they got buzzsawed, man. And I don't think they've seen it coming. I think they hope that JD can provide somewhat of a spot against that defense. But two receivers, running game is left in question. Marcus Mariota had to come in the game. It's not looking good for Washington. And shout out to the Cowboys, man.
Yeah. Next up, the Detroit Lions defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-9 on Monday Night Football. Look, we all saw this coming. It wasn't like it was a shock. Even Justin picked the Lions, so it's not like anybody thought Tampa Bay would win. I was shocked that Ibuka played. It was a great effort by him.
1 week later, yeah.
He went out there. I thought he went up and made plays on the ball. He tried. It wasn't like he looked like he was hampered. I thought Baker was a little inaccurate at times, but I thought that had more to do with the pass rush of the Lions, and the offensive line really wasn't giving Baker the time. Well, if you be honest, Baker be running for his life every week. But I didn't think it was sensational. But at the end of the day, when you're missing that many guys, you lose Mike Evans, who just come back. Shout out to him. Hopefully he gets better. Looked like he has a broken collarbone, I believe. So they expecting he might be back late in the season. But as I said to somebody, I said, man, I don't know, man. It might be time to hang it up, Mike. Now, if y'all got championship aspirations, maybe you want to try to go get one. But, man, your body's telling you something. You got to listen at some point. But the Lions, as I said, despite that loss to Kansas City a couple weeks ago, I still think they're the best team in the NFC. I still think they're the class of the NFC, and they continue to prove it. And injuries, you want to hear about injuries? They got injuries. Their whole secondary was missing, and they still ain't missed a beat. So it is what it is. It's like you ain't had no receivers. They ain't had no corners. They ain't had no safeties. They played the game. That's just how it go. Calvin, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this would have the potential of being a great matchup. Everybody was healthy. I'm sorry to see Mike Evans go out like that. Wanted him to get that 1,000 yards for the 12th straight year, I believe. So that's what I was really looking for, hoping that he would be healthy to accomplish that. But like you said, when he was walking off the field, it just gave you that feeling like it may just be time. Like it didn't look good when he was walking off the field. It just looked like his body just betrayed him at a certain point. You know, he really let loose on that hamstring and tried to get that ball too. So he still has that fight in him, but at some point, your body just kind of says, enough is enough. Detroit played a good game. They came out on fire on offense. They kind of stalled throughout the rest of the first quarter. They never really got going. Jahmyr Gibbs might be best back in the league this year.
No. Slow down.
I said this year. Who you taking over?
No,
I'm Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor is number one, and Bijan is still Bijan when it comes to athleticism.
Don't be disrespecting Jonathan Taylor. He had 3 more the other day.
Look. Well, I saw that 75-yard run when nobody touched him, and it was kind of like.
Oh no, he was fast. I'm not taking away nothing from him. But
I did that offense when healthy, and the offense was the only thing healthy on that field. It seemed like they were phenomenal. But I give credit to Tampa Bay's defense when they found something they kind of locked in as well, and were able to kind of rein in Detroit's offense. They just couldn't get anything going on their own offense. So even late, they had a number of possessions to kind of bring the score a little bit closer. But Detroit, good game by Detroit, good victory by them, and they go to 5-2.
Justin, tell us about your thoughts on this Tampa Bay team.
First, we had a death in the family. When it comes to Tampa Bay, Doug Martin. I was going to run upstairs to put the jersey on, but I was like, nah, I'm okay for the night. We don't know what's going on. It's just he succumbed to it within police custody. That's all we know. That's all we know right now. So that's a somber note. It doesn't get too much better when you see my man on the ground like that. My man Mike Evans. The streak is over, and we all know he was playing for the streak. That was the only thing in Tampa Bay, really, man. Just that was his thing. But he tied with Jerry, so it's nothing. It's no shame in that. But he was definitely trying to get that, and he'll be back. He'll be back by week 18, something like that. So, but even when he was out there, this is when the different amount of people in the lineup it baffles the whole flow. It just messes the whole flow up. Him and Tej Johnson was bumping to each other. It was just like when you have injuries, then you got people coming back off injuries. They don't have time to practice, so the flow isn't there, and that was definitely seen. So when you have that many ins and outs of your team, even with a team with a depleted secondary, as long as they stay straight and stay base, they'll be able to cover because we're not exploiting anything. So and Buka wasn't the same guy. He didn't have that same. He could still jump, but he didn't have that same explosion as he did early in the season. So, another week he'll be okay. And shout out to Jason Light. That's our GM. I think he might have saw the end of Mike Evans before anybody else did. And that's what you want your GM to do, man. Your GM got to make tough calls. And that's why you pay him what you pay him. And we unfortunately do have his replacement. And it's it's sad to see. Now, with the game itself, like you said, Calvin, the defensively, look, the Achilles heel of the Detroit Lions is Jared Goff. I keep telling people that they're going to go as far as he's able not to mess up. And we got to him. We got to him a few times. And I think he was rattled for a little bit, but because this game should have been worse than what it was. The score should have been worse, but they didn't, and we only held them to 24. We just couldn't get a flow off of. But we'll be better offensively, and we're gonna come back next week, even stronger. But like I said, I knew we was gonna lose this game. It's just I knew the numbers game was going to catch up with us, and it did. But I don't think we got embarrassed by no means. It's just their playmakers are they're so dynamic, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown, as soon as you get him on a cross pattern, if you ain't got a good coverage defense, he's going to exploit it. And Jahmyr Gibbs, good God. I mean, it was one play in which my man McCullum, number 27, had him dead to rights, and he spent to the goal line. I said, yo, that was nasty. But, Shout out to Detroit. I'm wearing Detroit blue because of that.
Yeah,
it was a bet.
Good win for them. Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals on last Thursday night defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 33-31. Joe Flacco was absolutely sensational. Now, last week on this very program, all three of us picked Pittsburgh to win this game. We said that defense was coming into its own. They would get the Flacco. He like a statue standing back there, and all our asses was wrong. Because my man Joe said, watch this. And went out there, said Jamar Chase catch. And just one after play, he set the all-time record for targets. Like, play after play. Yo, they was straight running comebacks and slants. Like, it was nothing. Like, quick fades and run out, do a sluggo, come back. Like, nothing fancy. And they just worked the ball down the field. Joe looked great. If he plays like this, y'all talking about, that's why I wore my Ravens shirt tonight. Joe, you better, you know what to do. When you play us, you know what to do. We know what you wear underneath that jersey.
You know where your loyalties are.
Remember who butters your bread. We help pay them kids through college. Like, come on now. You stole money from us. Let's be real. Let's be real. Bruh, Joe was out there gunning. Joe played like, man, goddamn. And give Chase credit. Chase was just like, yo, throw it. I'll catch it. I'm good. You know what I mean? Loved it. And Chase Brown was running the ball. Let's not act like he wasn't able to get everybody involved. He was throwing the ball to both receivers. Didn't get as much to Higgins, but when he did, he made the big catch, made that big touchdown catch.
Yeah, so he caught a touchdown. Could have had another one. He went down to one. He
caught the ball. He dropped down to one to kill the game for the game-winning field goal. Probably the biggest catch of the game. Sensational, man. Sensational. And Rodgers didn't play bad either. Shout out to him. I know it's a bad Bengals defense, but Aaron Rodgers out there gunning too. Like, man, this AFC North might not. That's why I wore my Ravens shirt and I said, hey, guys, y'all get your shit together. Y'all not walking back just easily. These teams act like they want to play some football. Your thoughts, Justin?
Both teams will just got out the gate. I know Aaron got 2 interceptions, but 4 touchdowns. They ran the ball successfully. Both teams ran the ball. Both running backs got over 100 yards. I think the main thing is, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm accurate in this situation. Did TJ Watt play?
He got
right.
Pressure,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
what I'm saying. That was to me, that's the difference maker. Yo, everybody else showed up. Everybody else showed up, but you, my guy. I don't care.
You saw Jalen Ramsey out there? You saw
Jalen Ramsey out there? Every time he was there, he was.
I'm talking about TJ Watt. Did you see Ike Taylor out there? That whole defense was getting shredded. When the Cincinnati Bengals wide receivers in their court, he just needs somebody to throw they just needed somebody to throw the ball to him. They just needed somebody to put the ball in a vicinity and watch what Chase does. He's that good. It didn't matter who plays him. The only person that the only defensive guy that had that advantage based off of who they are was TJ. That's why I go to TJ more than anybody else. If TJ was,
he could have got Hall of Famer.
Once, maybe twice, then those old Flacco joints would have started throwing up, and he might would have got a little bit gun shy and threw the ball quicker, so on and so forth. And then the defensive backs could have made a play. You can't expect these. I don't care who y'all. You can't unless you're like PS2 out here, Patrick Surtain Jr. or something. Like the second, that's the only person really that can compete with Chase. Everybody else is chicken to him. So, you have to get pressure, and they did not provide pressure on Joe at all. Joe stood tall and was just airing the ball out. And if you give Joe a clean pocket, bro, it's over. It's lights out because he can still throw the ball.
Always had an arm.
Aaron Rodgers too. Like I said, I don't want to go too far with that, but it was an amazing performance. It was one of those y'all must have forgot performances. And like I said, it's just good to see Chase, T. Higgins. It's just good to see them eat, man, because them brothers were starving. So
if you bet this game like I did, If you bet this game last Thursday like I
probably,
did,
probably bet the under.
you had a great weekend. Nah, I had Chase, I had Higgins, I had Brown, I had Warren. I ate, baby. It was good. I had Joe going over 250. He had like 400. It felt like
only had like 320.
Yeah, it was sensational, man. Anyway, Calvin, what's your thoughts on this game?
Is this the Joe Flacco we would have got? We gave some premium receivers in Baltimore.
That's what I said. When did we have him? When? Name the time. Steve Smith by himself.
Everybody was old. Like no. I'm talking about some 25.
To answer that question, yes. If you would have provided him one of those dudes, Antonio Brown, somebody. I'm trying to think of wide receivers.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson and somebody like he has one of the best arms like in the last.
He had Torrey
25
and Bolden.
years.
You saw what he could do.
He throw it up, man.
2 years.
He throws it up. He throws it up where only a receiver can get it. That's a talent. That's a talent.
Yeah. It's what it is.
The Higgins ball at the end was beautiful.
Perfect.
Even the ball to the I can't think it was the tight end down the seam over the shoulder.
Yes.
Joe still got it.
Joe still got it. Dangerous, man. Dangerous. Let's move and keep moving. Minnesota defeated by the Philadelphia Eagles 28-22. This was Sunday morning game early. It was a pretty good.
This is a 1 o'clock game.
Was it 1 o'clock? Who was the early game on Sunday?
Jacksonville, LA.
Yeah. You're right. Anyway, so this was interesting.
Went off.
Early in the game, they were able to get AJ Brown involved early, score early, and then late in the game, he got the big fade that really iced the game, put that thing away. He scored twice in this game. Devontae Smith, the pass that Hurts missed a week ago, he hit this week to Devontae for a big 80-yard touchdown. Looks like the offense is humming on passing regard, but they still are not able to run the football successfully. At this point, I'm convinced it's the offensive line. It's just not as good. Too many missing pieces. The scheme isn't the same. Something's different about this running game, and Saquon has not been able to get out of the back. If you remember, back in the Giants, when he played for the Giants, Saquon, I think, led the league in negative plays. Like, he did take a lot of getting hit in the backfield, and then he would bust one.
Home runs,
and he hit a big play, and that would like cover it up a little bit. So last year, the way that offensive line played, it really was probably the first time where he was running just clean through holes. Wasn't necessarily needing to break tackles. I don't think that's his specialty, breaking tackles. He can spin and jump, and we saw all that last year on display, but we haven't seen that this year. But I'll bring up my point in a second, but AJ Brown posted something on his social media yesterday, I believe it was.
I think it was yesterday. Yeah,
I didn't see it. What did it say?
It's like either like something about use me or don't use me.
No, you use me. Like,
I'm not gonna find it.
I'm finding it too, and it really speaks to what I said a couple weeks ago. At this point, and he missed practice today with a hamstring injury all of a sudden. Trade deadline is coming, guys. I got him. He got to go. I'm sorry. He has to go because at the end of the day, you're a distraction to the team because you are not speaking, but you're saying so much. You're out there making these cryptic posts. I don't like it, man. You just scored. You had over 100 yards receiving. I get it. You only had 5 targets. You had 2 touchdowns. Your team wins. And here you go out there making these cryptic posts. And this one says, I found it. Here it is. Damn it. Where'd it go? Use me up. You see it, Calvin?
No, I'm still looking for it.
Here we go.
Well, while y'all looking for it, look, this
using me,
right here.
but not using me.
Yeah.
Using me, but not using me. So, what do you mean? What do you mean? You're using me, but you're not using me. So they're using, but they're not using you enough. You had over 100 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Your team wins. You catch the ball. You really could have had 3 touchdowns, but you made the smart football play. And when, like T. Higgins, we just praised him for doing that. You catch the ball, you get down, milk the clock out. He could have caught it and ran in for his 3rd touchdown if he was just caring about stats. Using me, but you're not using me. That's what we're talking about. And that dominated the headlines. Bruh, get him out of town, man. Get him out of town. Devontae Smith is good enough to be a number 1 receiver. Go get him somebody else who can play it next to him, and they'll be just fine. That's my opinion. Go ahead, Justin.
He's saying, I get the quote. I get it.
Of course we
He's like,
get it.
You're using me, but you're not. Like, come on, man. This shouldn't be like an anomaly game. It shouldn't be one of like the first game of the season that I had with these kind of numbers. Yeah, so you're not really using me, man. You're using me, but you don't. Look, man, come on, get it together. Now, with all that being said, this is the problem with the Philadelphia Eagles is, they just come out gunslinging. Next thing you know, they have Jalen Hurts has one of the best games he ever had. Cool, great. What this does, when they've been so stagnant offensively, and I think that's part of the frustration that they're having. If Saquon is not going off, then that means they have extra people in the box. They have the safeties are not paying back as much as other teams does. You gotta make them pay. They should have performances like this way more often, so you can actually use the receivers that you do have, and not having to be cryptic. No, just legitimately use them. Let them have these kind of numbers. And what does that do? That's going to push everybody back. And then you follow it right up with Saquon Barkley. It's not that hard. And Jalen finally got it together. This is more on Jalen than anybody else to me. Not in a negative way. It's just like, when you on, bro, you're that guy. Like you're really that talented, bro. You just gotta be consistent in it. So he was consistent. Flores ain't had nothing for him. And it showed. So maybe teams are going to start playing the pass more often. But I agree with Larry. You got to get him out of here. You got to get AJ out of here.
Really?
Because he's a distraction.
Eventually, it's going to someone's going to say F that guy publicly, and that's when this is T.O. all over again. It's not like we haven't seen this before. T.O. had great points even when he was going through the things that he was going through. It's just. And it got to a certain point where it's the quarterback versus the receiver. Nobody wins in that situation. So you got to cut your ties, get something for him while he's still on the team, and let's go. You just this ain't gonna work, and you're not gonna get to the Super Bowl like this. You're not gonna do it.
Calvin.
Well, first, I think he's trolling the media at this point. That's just my opinion, especially after a performance like that. I think he's trolling
the teammates still got to respond to it.
Thank you.
You're right.
It's
That's
a distraction.
And he wasn't able to respond to it because he was not at practice today. You're right, but I think he's trolling the media. I also think that this team, and take this however you may, this team could be better with better, consistent quarterback play. I think that's a fact across the board. Now you can say all you want. They won the Super Bowl MVP, blah blah blah, whatever. We see without a run game how they struggle on offense because they need a consistent run game for the passing game to be successful for the most part. They won the ball game. They're 5-2. They're going into a pretty good stretch in their division when they play Washington and Dallas in the next couple weeks. What's the big deal? I understand you saying he's a distraction. This team has got an answer for him, but if he produces when needed, what's the big deal? Because obviously, I think they need him to win another Super Bowl. I don't think they could win one without him, in regards to not replacing him with a receiver of his caliber. So, what are we saying? If you get him the ball, he's happy. And if you get Devontae Smith the ball, he's happy. When A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith both score a touchdown, they are 13-0. How hard is that game plan to say, these are my two receivers, this is who I target? We just saw that happen with Higgins and Chase in Cincinnati when you target that man 10 times because I don't care who's on him, I don't care what coverage you got on him, I'm going to throw him the ball. why does that not work for this offense, or is the quarterback not able to replicate that?
That's not the point. The point is the team was not built for that type of game. You went out and get a Saquon Barkley
because their running game is non-existent.
But it's what comes first, the chicken or the egg. It's not like Saquon is getting 20 carries a game. Go back and look at the numbers.
No, he's not. He's not. But like you said, it's still. I put more of the blame on offensive line than I put on Saquon.
I agree to an extent. But what happens is because the chirping gets so loud, the critics get so loud. The offensive coordinator hears that. He's young. He's not he's young, not young as a young in age, but inexperienced in his role. The questions keep coming to the media. The teammates are getting frustrated. The receivers have a loud voice in the locker room. Saquon is a good team guy. He only getting 9 carries a game. Like we all know, he might, like we talk about Derrick Henry, he might stop him 1-2 play, and then he'll bust one for 80. Like that happens. My point is, you're saying, well, when you feed them, they're happy. You know why Dallas is able to do what they do? Because that's how that team is built. That's how that team is built. They went out and got George Pickens to add with CeeDee Lamb because they knew that they were going to be a passing offense. Now, whatever they're getting from Williams is great. That's gravy, but that's not how the team was built. The team was built to pass the football. And let's not act like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia wasn't built to run the football. They were built to run the football. So, yes, you go out and you drafted a Devontae Smith. You went and get an A.J. Brown. That's why you won a Super Bowl, because you had a combination of being able to pass, being able to run. But if you don't be able to establish the run, then you can't do you become predictable. But let's not act like he didn't just throw for 326 yards and 3 touchdowns against a Minnesota Vikings defense that everybody says is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, who people have a tough time figuring out. They did a good job against a good team. My point is, we've talked about this week after week. If they went out there and implemented after the players-only meeting, and they went out there and he did his job to get you involved, got Devontae involved, he took it on his own chin after last week when they lost because he missed Devontae before the half on that deep pass. We all talked about it. He come this week, correct those issues, and everybody's flying high. You get a big win over a good opponent on the road, mind you, in Minnesota. You get a good win. And then the first thing you do is go on social media and say, you're using me, but you ain't using me. Bruh, are we moving forward or are we playing games? That's the problem. Like, you can't keep saying you want to move forward and make this thing better and get back on track, but then you're doing things to throw gasoline on the fire. You say you're trolling the media. You're not just trolling the media. The fans respond to that. The people in the locker room reads that. It has, like you said, Justin said, you got to respond to that. I don't think that it's too much to ask for you to have your quarterbacks back. I just don't think, especially when your quarterback handles himself like a professional and doesn't talk negatively about nobody, who goes out there and plays the game the right way, who just was the Super Bowl MVP and got you involved and did everything necessary to do that. When Saquon was getting shut down in the Super Bowl, he did his job and got you the ball. So let's not act like Jalen Hurts is just somebody that got off the scrap heap. I'm getting sick of that narrative. I get black quarterbacks. You know, everybody don't get the same respect around here. You know, you got to be a pass all over the field type of quarterback. No, that man plays the game his way. The same thing they said about Lamar. He got better as Lamar's got older in his career. Jalen is figuring it out. He'll get better. But to keep on taking pot shots at the man, I think it's unnecessary.
Lamar Jackson would average 300 yards in the air a game with
now. But Lamar wasn't like that early in his career.
2 years ago. 3 years ago. But ever since that play to Hollywood Brown against Miami,
in the big
he would have did it.
In the big spots, Jalen has showed up. You can't act like he hasn't. Let's not act like the man didn't go to the Super Bowl twice.
Jackson
I
come
completely
on.
agree. That's disrespectful to Lamar.
It's not disrespectful. It's not disrespectful at all. One of them got two Super Bowl appearances, one Super Bowl MVP and a championship on his resume, and one don't. I love Lamar,
played
but
on
let's
the best
not act
team
like
in the
Jalen
league.
Hurts is
We've
scrap.
had this conversation.
If
I
Lamar
can name
Jackson
had
three
AJ
quarterbacks
Brown
on
on
that
his
team
team,
that would have done the same thing last year.
But
We've had this
he's not,
conversation.
and he didn't. So let's talk about the one who did and who is. So you trying to tear him down to build
I'm not
somebody
trying
up.
to tear him down.
That's my issue.
I'm saying that 10 quarterbacks could do it.
who's getting built up in this process?
What do you mean?
Who getting
He
built
just
up?
tried to make the point about how Lamar, you said Lamar would average 300. You don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. Let's talk about what is. Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl last year and was the MVP. He gets the benefit of the doubt. That's all I'm saying. And he don't badmouth nobody. He goes out there and handle himself like a professional with his teammates. What is that not to like? But constantly, I got to hear people trying to Cam Newton and all these people disrespecting this man for playing the game the way he was taught how to play the game. It's not like how you played it.
Everyone is saying the same thing.
It's not everybody. It's only a
Maybe
few
they're
haters.
right.
It's only a few haters. Not everybody. A lot of people give Jalen credit for doing what he did.
He's a great game manager that steps up from time to time.
Guess what? That's a champion. That's all that matters at the end of the day. That's a champion. You can you can be Dak Prescott or you can be Jalen Hurts. I'll take Jalen Hurts. That's just me personally. That's me. But anyway, let's move on.
I'll take Dak Prescott in
And we know you were. You're a Cowboys fan who used to losing. I mean, that's not
Dak
a shot.
Prescott in Philadelphia.
But no, we talking about Dak in Dallas. Throwing the ball
What are we
all over
talking
the field.
about?
Who got you're gonna have phenomenal numbers this year. Phenomenal. Y'all winning anything?
If Dak Prescott was in Philadelphia,
We're not talking about that.
With that defense.
That
with
defense ain't good.
Line, we just talked about
That
that.
offensive line not good.
Now
we just talked about
now
that.
All of a sudden, the
We
defense
just
isn't
talked
good.
about that.
The
You
offensive
just said
line
it's
is
the
good.
offensive line more
I said
than
the
it is.
offense. I said I don't blame the offensive line for the run game.
I said the
I
offensive line has not been
I
good.
said I blame the offensive line more than Saquon and Jalen Hurts for the run game. That's what I said.
They ain't pass
But
blocking
I
either.
will
What do you
also
mean?
say, if you have a complete team like that, then you should be able to overcompensate for
Calvin.
the deficiencies of your offensive line.
Calvin,
That's all I'm saying.
they don't
And
have
Jalen
a
Hurts should be able to
complete team.
do that consistently,
Adoree
week
Jackson
in and week out.
is that
That's all I'm
starting
saying.
corner. Adoree Jackson, who they probably about to bench. They had to get Brandon
They
Graham
let go.
off the
They let
track
go
meet.
of two veteran
Come out of
cornerbacks
retirement.
because they believed in their young cornerbacks. If that's a fault of the GM,
No, because
then
they
okay,
had to
that's
pay other
fine.
people and they didn't have the money. That's why they had to let him go.
They could have paid him. They could have
Brandon
paid Quinn.
Graham
They
about to
could have
come out of
paid
retirement because
because
they can't get no pass rush.
Darius Smith retired. That's why he's coming out of retirement. They could have paid Quinyon Mitchell. They could have paid Darius Slay.
They
They
couldn't
got
pay
five.
all of them.
They could have paid one of them at least if they wanted to. Yes,
You got Jalen Carter, who barely touched the field all year.
he's on a
You
rookie
got-
contract, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying he hasn't
Okay.
played. This
Okay.
team has not been good all year. Dean played his first game last week. Like, they have not been good. They have not. They have
And
not.
they're
Go look at
5-2.
the numbers.
And they're 5-2.
And that's the point.
And they're
That I
5-2.
think that is the point. They're
They have
5-2.
all this talent included at the quote unquote quarterback position in your opinion, and they're 5-2. They have one of the best running backs in the league. They have one of the best wide receiver tandems in the league, one of the best defenses in the league, and they're 5-2. Okay.
And they should be. They
Okay.
should be. The defense ain't that good. That's all I'm saying. You can say it, name the names. They ain't that good. They not. Cooper DeJean. Did you know who Cooper DeJean was before he was Cooper DeJean last year?
In the Super Bowl, you know you learned his name. Yes.
That's my point.
And when Darius Slay got hurt last year, yes, you learned his name. Yes.
And now who they got?
He was a rookie last year. What do you mean before last year? He was a rookie
That's my
last
point.
year.
I'm about to say
And
he
he
was a
wasn't even
rookie.
drafted high. He was like a 6th-round draft pick who came out of nowhere. Like, come on,
He
man.
came
You
out
acting
nowhere.
like
That's
they got this great roster.
He knocked the ball out of Justin Jefferson's hand.
And I can name player for player. The Cowboys got just as much name value and talent.
On
And they
defense?
suck. Both DeJuan Bland, you got corners, you got what's your boy
We
name?
overvalued
Who
DeRon
messed
Bland because he had 6 intercept returns for touchdowns, and then he gets
He had one last week.
and he gets burnt twice as much. Like, what are we talking
Okay,
about what Deron
Dory
Bland.
Jackson, I can say the same thing about. He's your starting corner, the number one. Like, what are we talking about here?
Okay.
What are you talking about? We can go position by position. That's why I say everything you say, you're an NFC guy. It's going to come down to you're going to put down the Eagles because that's your division rival. I get it. It's like me talking about the Steelers. You a hater. I get it. It's not that big a deal.
I'm a hater, but I'm giving him credit. I think
you're not giving him credit.
I'm giving everybody credit for Jalen Hurts. That's what I'm giving credit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How you gonna give everybody credit?
That's
But the leader of the team,
because
who was the Super Bowl MVP,
if you have the best team, then you should perform in the quarterback position.
The Lions have the best
as a quarterback on the best team. That's a problem.
The Lions were the best team last year, and they should have won, but they got beat by Washington. That's what happened. Let's not act like the Philly was the best team last year.
Detroit was the best team. We talked about Detroit's injuries on defense.
Okay,
throughout the year, so
injuries happened. That was
Philadelphia was the best, most complete team last year,
happened.
And they won despite their quarterback.
The Ravens got injuries. It happens. That's the point. Philly has.
You're right. You're right. And Philadelphia was healthy, and they were the best team, and they won.
If Philly was healthy right now, we wouldn't have none of these injuries. The offensive line getting chewed up. The defensive line is not the same. The cornerbacks are not the same.
We got Denver.
You're relying on Dory Jackson. You are a hater, and that is the problem. Denver Broncos defeated the. Go ahead. What's the problem? What's the problem?
No,
I defend Jalen Hurts because y'all be hating, boy.
You don't want to set it. Even in this game, he connected with Smith when he missed him last week. He did what he was supposed to do. He didn't miss him. Normally he misses them. That's the problem.
Don't normally miss, man. Come on.
He do normally
he
miss
don't
them.
take the shot.
Just check
Charlie.
Check his lowlights, bro. He misses. He overthrows AJ Brown on the record.
Adverse. That's his problem.
He overthrows or underthrows receivers. It's just it is what it is. It's out there. The tape is out there.
I get
he
that.
was on point. When he's on point, he's one of the best quarterbacks.
He doesn't turn the ball over. That's the thing. That's how they teach it.
So when you play like that and you overthrow purposely or underthrow purposely, guess what? You don't give your receiver a chance, and he has one of the better receivers to take a chance on. So that's on the quarterback. That's on him.
That is not.
You don't want to admit to it.
The overarching thing. I can see if your man got 10 targets a game and I miss you on 6 of them. If I miss you once or twice, what quarterback don't miss somebody once or twice? That happens. That's football. But what I'm saying is,
with him than others.
What I'm saying is, they don't even throw the ball enough for that percentage to even make sense.
Right. So when he does throw the ball, you have to make it count every time, and he doesn't.
If he
you're saying it's self-defeating. If they don't throw the ball, and when he does throw it, it's inaccurate, or he's trying to play safe with the ball, it limits the opportunities of the receivers. That's all.
Of course, the offense itself limits the opportunities of the receivers because they're running offense. That is the point. And they don't run him as a quarterback
better
enough.
When you have the opportunities to. That's all. He did better when he had the opportunities this past week.
Is eating. Like, just because it's not throwing to A.J. Brown, that's his problem. He wants the targets. He doesn't want Devontae or the tight end who had 10 catches last week to get the targets. He wants the targets. It's about
because when you throw it my way, you're underthrowing it, or you're playing safe, or you're doing this. Just throw it. That's all you said. Just throw the ball.
They roll coverage to A.J. Brown, so he gets a safety over the top.
Throw the damn ball
and the linebacker comes underneath.
Let me deal with
so
it.
I'm not on a. If I can hit
it.
Devontae Smith with the slant, or I can hit Dallas Goedert over the middle, and he's open. Why wouldn't I take that? Like, that's football. But I get it. You want your stats,
he's not accurate in doing those two things either. But at the end of the day, throw the ball. That's all.
I get it. The man's 5-2, Super Bowl MVP, and he's saying you're using me, but you're not using me. I wouldn't use his ass at all. I would ice him out the next game. That's what I would do. Quit. Go read a book. Nobody needs you.
Y'all can't ice him out and win.
They clearly can because he sat on the bench last year with a book and they won the Super Bowl. Remember that? Like they clearly can. Like, pick one. I'll get rid of his ass. I'm sorry. Trade deadline is vastly approaching. Denver defeated the New York Giants in a thriller last week where, look, this one here, the Giants had no business losing this game. They were phenomenal for most of this game. They had a 30-point run in the fourth quarter. The Denver Broncos did. I don't remember the last time a team gave up 30 points in a quarter. That was crazy. Jackson Dart did a great job for the most part, but he had that turnover that really turned the game on his head. But in the end, he scored the touch. They scored too fast, first of all. They should have maybe took a knee. I don't know what you need to do. Milk it a little bit more. Maybe it looked like his knee was down. They reviewed it. They called him in on a touchdown. Probably would have been better if they'd have put him at the half-inch line and then allow him to maybe run some more time off the clock, end up scoring, and they would take the victory there. But that defense gave up a big drive at the end, and Denver walks off with a victory. Good win for the Broncos, but it should have never been this close. But the Giants are coming, man. They are coming. Calvin, your thoughts?
Yeah, the Giants are definitely up and coming team with Jackson Dart. It's funny how Sean Payton's comments about basically about Russell Wilson, and then Russ clapped back at him. So I'm glad to see Russ kind of take the high road for once. Look, that at the end of this game, that pass interference against Denver, in my opinion, is still atrocious because he still turned around and played the ball at a point. If you want to say illegal contact, I would have gave you that, but that pass interference late really, really was a bad call, in my opinion. I argue with someone on this one that wanted to blame the kicker for missing an extra point. I said, well, that's fine. You can say that. But if a defense gets up 33 points in the quarter, that needs to be the focus on why you lose a ball game. Not only did you give up a lead, you gave up 33 points. Every point that Denver scored was when it was in the fourth quarter. And you want to focus on a kicker that missed the extra point. While the extra point did lead them to win by 1, they gave up 33 points to a Denver offense that was stifled all game. Great comeback from Bo Nix. I really counted him out. He really led that team in the fourth quarter. Sean Payton really has his quarterback. As long as we can kind of limit those turnovers and kind of jumpstart that offense, especially the run game early on. Like I said, they're still putting the ball in Bo Nix's hands too early, too much. Get that run game off the ground, in my opinion, and then we'll be even more successful. But great win.
Justin?
You kind of hinted to it earlier, Larry, and it's the same thing I say. I've echoed this multiple times, most notably with the Ravens, and that's no shot. It's sometimes when you're in a position to win a game, you have to slow the clock down. You have to make great plays. You have to make accurate plays, timely plays. That's what stands you out from being just one of the guys to one of the all-time greats, or just one of the better clutch performers. Let's say that, and that matters. And one person didn't do it, and the other person made every play when it counted. At the last time, the last possible chance they had, they was making every single play. You gotta slow it down, make key drives. First down after first down, kill the clock, and you win the game. New York was unable to do it. Denver took advantage of every situation they had, and that's the ball game. That's the way it rolls sometimes. I think it's starting to be more of maybe I'm gonna say a pandemic. These coordinators, oh my God, they get into this prevent defense and like, oh well, we got to do that. And no, stop that. I don't know who needs to hear this as a defensive coordinator. Please stop going to prevent when you get a quarterback that's been struggling all game. More lanes and opportunities and okay, that guy's open. I can see that because why? Because only 3 people rushing me. Stop that. Play your game until it's 0-0-0, and then you can say, you know what? We played our game. They just made the better plays. Like, don't make it easier for them. And I don't. It's just not like every team is doing this some kind of way or a version of it. I could just two deep safeties and play football. There's no need to rush just 3, sometimes 4. No, send them blitz every now and then. Make this person make a decision quickly so you can hopefully take advantage of it. I'm seeing it way too much, and it was in this game, and they bit the bullet for it. So it is what it is. Next.
Well, to be fair, the Giants were blitzing. That's why Bo Nix got out the back door and had ass, because he got legs and he moved. But that was the problem. True. You shouldn't have had the blitz. You got Abdul-Carter in this defensive line. They should have been getting home. That's the problem. Like, but they was bringing guys that should have been in coverage. And then what really got me, and look, I get it. When you go into that hurry up from a defensive perspective, you have the guy, you don't always make every call because you don't have the luxury of making your substitutions, things of that nature. They got caught with 2 packages out there that should have never been on the field in that type of situation. You know they got to score quick. So why the hell you got Jumbo out there? That made no sense. Bunch of fat guys on the field. Like, it was dumb. Like, no athletes.
Be able to get to him.
Yo, like you got him. You know he's running. He's running. He's a running quarterback. He prefers to run. So why would you have Jumbo out there? Like, it was just stupid. It was stupid all the way around. But yeah, late in the game, once they scored once, okay, twice, all right, it happened. But 3 times, at some point, you gotta adapt. And again, the Giants did score, and they did take the lead, and they were celebrating Scatterboo and all that. I love this team. They have energy and all that. But at the end of the day, that final drive, that was the prevent. And all they needed was a field goal range. That's nothing in the NFL. That's 2 passes now.
In Denver?
Like that's 2 passes and you in field goal range. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? They were up 30 points. Like, it makes no sense. Like, yeah. Foolish, man. I think that is a tape you put on for what not to do. Honestly, pathetic. Indianapolis Colts defeated the Los Angeles Chargers out in LA. The Chargers keep rolling, man. We're going to talk about this next week. Tune in next week for our midseason awards. But if I had to give an award right now, my midseason MVP is Jonathan Taylor. I don't care about no quarterback. I know it's a quarterback-heavy award, but if you see with these Colts, they're the best record in the AFC right now, leading the league in rushing, leading the league in touchdowns, and good. Daniel Jones is great. No, it's good, solid. Don't get me wrong. But the leader of this offense is number 28, and he was sensational. I thought I was watching the same play. I like, that they showing the replay. Nah, he did it again. Like the same run into the end zone. Like the man is great, man, and he made that Chargers defense look absolutely pathetic. Calvin, your thoughts?
I've not been high on Indianapolis all year long. I think I even picked the Chargers last week. But Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor continues to show up. I think coaching as well. They're a very well coached team as well. And they're just putting Daniel Jones in a position to succeed week in and week out. And, outside of that one fumbled early touchdown celebration a couple weeks ago, this team has really played blemish-free football for the entire year through week 7. Yes, and that's really the only hiccup, and that was one fault. That was the fault of one player.
Unforced error.
Yeah. So look, I'll give them credit. Don't know if I'm still going to pick them in the future, but I'll give them credit. They're playing really good football, and the Chargers still going to be the Chargers. So week in and week out.
You know it.
Some things don't change.
You said last week, this is about the time of the year I start picking the Chargers every week. Well, and it happens the same way every year.
Yeah.
Justin, your thoughts?
With no running game, the Chargers are done, man. Justin Herbert threw the ball over 50 times. It's not enough. There's no balance. They're not worried about it. And he still had 400 yards. Like, it's not like it was bad, but then with that many throws, the interception comes. He had 2 interceptions. So that's not good football. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Then I don't expect too much from this Chargers team, and that's why I didn't pick them. The Colts are they the ones that's following all of a sudden. I think they had the best record in the league, let alone their conference. I think they had the best record in the league. And like you said, they're one fumble and a holding call away from being undefeated. Like, this team is this. I don't know. Some teams just got no pun intended. Some teams just got the horseshoe up their ass, and I guess it's this team particularly for the season. And we'll see how far it takes them. But when it's all on Justin Herbert, it's usually lead to undesired outcome. So yeah, there you go again.
Shout out to the Indianapolis Colts offensive line. Man, they got some dogs over there, and of course by Nelson.
That's one in the league.
Yeah, Nelson has been doing it for many years now, but geez, man, the gaping holes. I mean, Jonathan, I love Jonathan Taylor, but he getting them blocks too, and he is exploiting them big time. Next up, the Green Bay Packers defeated the Arizona Cardinals. I don't want to belabor this game because it's the Cardinals, but Jacoby Brissett played a hell of a game. I give him all credit in the world. Like, they should have beat the Packers. They should have won this game. I didn't know that Josh Jacobs was going to play. I was looking at the injury report. It looked like he was going to be out. End up scoring 2 touchdowns. Great for him. Kraft scored a touchdown. They pulled out a victory. Michael Parsons was the closer in this one. Michael had like 3 sacks, 2 or 3 sacks. Like, he was all over Jacoby at the end of the game. So he did his job at the end. But the game should not have been this close, in my opinion. You struggled with a 2-5 Cardinals team. It shouldn't be there. It's something about this Packers team that is hard for me to wrap my arms around still, in my opinion. Justin, your thoughts on this game?
They played check down Brissett, and that's why Trey McBride he ate. He got a couple touchdowns, 10 receptions. He had a couple bombs, but if I say Marvin Harrison, he had 1-2 catches at most. You're not going to win, and they almost won. So when you have someone that really can't exploit your defense like that, and he's a backup on top of that, the Packers should have took full advantage of the situation, and they didn't. I don't know whether they need like a bona fide number 1 receiver, and maybe they're lacking in that department. Because I know that's an excuse, because I see Daniel Jones getting it done. Daniel Jones is getting it done with a similar receiving core. Just good guys, no stand up. There's no standouts like that. And Jordan Love is like having mediocre passing games. If it wasn't for Josh Jacobs, they lose this game. They lucky he showed up. That's one of the things where he said, you give him a little extra on a check or something like that, because they lose this game. So they got to do better. They got to do better defensively. This is supposed to be a Super Bowl type of team. They're not looking like it, but their record is going to hold them down enough. Whereas though it's like, they got a great record, but they're not playing great enough. So it's still early. It's still in the first half of the season. They have some time to correct it, but we'll see if they can. I do expect a better overall performance, especially against the Cardinals.
Calvin?
Yeah, I expect a better performance.
Go.
I expect a better performance from them in general. Josh Jacobs really saved the day because Brissett and McBride were eating the middle of that defense up for the most part. Even McBride caught a couple 15, 20-yard intermediate passes and turned them up and got about 15, 20 yards after the reception as well. So, but in regards to Marvin Harrison, like, he's just been absent all year. So I can't even say that Jacoby Brissett was the reason for that. He's just been absent all year for whatever reason. No, I don't know if he's not. I haven't really watched. I watched a lot of games early on just for fantasy purposes because I got offered the trade. But I don't know what's been going on with that offense and him. But if you're a McBride in that run game early on with Connor, they were phenomenal. But this is a team. This is a game, and with your Green Bay, you should win definitively and move on to the next week. It's coming off your bye week. You've had an extra week to plan. Maybe you didn't plan for the quarterback change. That shouldn't have made a difference. So they got to kind of get on the ball. And they have no other bye week. They got a Thursday night game coming up. But they got to get on the ball offensively and defensively. Michael Parsons had the best game of the season. I think he had 3.5 sacks over the course of the game. But that's because Brissett's really kind of a statue back there. It wasn't like it was Kyler Murray or anything. But they got to play better.
Yeah. And finally, look, it's so difficult for me. This is why I struggle to wrap my arms around this Atlanta Falcons team. They go out there and they have a great performance the week prior, and you're thinking, man, Bijan looks like
on Monday night,
phenomenal player. Everything's working out, everything's coming together. Penix is putting this thing together. Receivers, you get a Darnell Mooney back, you're gonna be able to get your full display of weapons. And they go out there and lay an egg against a depleted San Francisco 49er team. This 49er team is 5-2, and Mac Jones is the quarterback. Fred Warner's out for the year. Like, they missing receivers. They missing tight end. They missing the pass rush. They missing everything. What is anybody's excuse? And they went and beat Atlanta like they was just like in full strength. What the hell is this? Like this game was so weird. Calvin, your thoughts?
I thought Atlanta was going to be able to go in and make another statement win, but I'm just not sure what's going on with the Atlanta offense. It's so up and down. I expect another breakout game from Penix. I expected at least for Bijan to show up, and they just really weren't able to do anything offensively, and especially when they needed anything beyond 6-7 yards on third down for the first down. Penix just looked like he was lost. He had regressed back to that old Penix from a couple weeks ago. On the other hand, we see a Christian McCaffrey resurgence again. I don't understand. He was nothing last year, and he comes back after a year off. Maybe that time off really helped. But he said with Matt
hurt.
Jones, with Matt, but he had what arthritis? Like you don't get
better. Hey, he went and got that good stuff, boy.
Yeah, he went overseas. But look, with Matt Jones, with no Ayuk, with no Debo, you had Kittle come back and basically just block all game. Because I put him in the start and I'm thinking he's gonna get some targets. He just blocked all game. And this defense still was able to hold Atlanta to 10 points. And still able to control the game. Look, this looks like a 10-point game.
No.
San Francisco controlled this game from start to end. It was not that close. Atlanta could do nothing on offense for the majority of the game. But
that's crazy.
San Fran is I don't know. They get injured every year. This is the one year that they're fighting through those injuries.
Yeah. Justin, your thoughts. This is a team in your division.
One, that's a crazy photo of Michael Penix. That is a tough.
He got wrapped up.
He fumbled.
Yeah, he fumbled.
But no, I mean, at the end of the day, the defensive what's his name? It was Flores, right? Not Flores. Saleh. Saleh had a game plan to say Bijan will not beat us this week. We're not going to let Bijan beat us. And when they shut down the run and left it in Penix's hands, clearly you see the outcome. Shout out to Michael Pitts. He made Kyle Pitts. He made an appearance. So shout out to him. But at the end of the day, they couldn't get anything going because they shut down the run. They were not afraid of Bijan. Bijan was going to break some tackles and take it to the house and let him. But no, they made sound tackles. If anything, Bijan got was through the passing game, through dump balls and things like that. They shut down their short yardage game and dared them to beat over top, and Penix couldn't do it. Sometimes it just comes down simple as that.
That's the facts of the matter. But at the end of the day, if you look at the injury report for the 49ers, for them to be able to do it is the point.
They shouldn't have been able to do it. That's the thing.
That's the point.
But hey, man,
that's ridiculous. Give the coaches credit. Give the scouting team credit.
This is football. At the end of the day, if you can just if those first couple drives work for you, you have now upgraded your attributes by 5. If you get past, you don't know that you're not that good until someone shows you you're just not that good. You know what I'm saying? So if you can get past that first couple of trial and error, the first couple of drives, and you're still like hanging in there making plays, you're thinking the confidence level is high, man. Let's make some plays. Let's make some things happen. And a lot of times average players become above average just because they're in the game. They're making some plays happen and the confidence take over. So yes, it's a good ball game.
Real quick, Seattle got a dominating good victory over the Texans on Monday night. That Seattle team, it looks just as good as anybody in the conference, to be quite honest
with you. Best receiver in the league right now?
Yeah, I think so. He's up there for sure. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Kansas City Chiefs dominating shutout victory, first shutout in Andy Reid's career. That was a hell of a stat. Yeah, they looking ferocious. And we'll talk about some of these other teams when we preview the game. So let's not waste any time. Let's not waste any more time. Let's look at our let's look at our picks from last week. Give everybody an updated look at it. So last week, Calvin picked the Rams, Eagles, Broncos, Cowboys, Lions, and Seahawks, getting 6 victories. He and I tied at 6 I had the Eagles, Broncos, Colts, Cowboys, Lions, and Seahawks. And Justin came in with 5 with the Rams, Broncos, Colts, Lions, and Seahawks. So, pretty close. We were all pretty. I think we flip-flopped here, game here, there, which even me and Calvin out at 6. But Justin, I think
somebody has not been the first
limb
yet.
Yeah,
they're always dragging behind.
Yeah, so the at the week 7, again, this is only 2 weeks in. Calvin and I tied at 3. We tied at 14, and Justin is bring it up the rear, you know what I mean, at 11. But you can always close the gap. And here's your chance and your opportunity to close that gap. Let's get into it. Chicago travels to Baltimore this weekend. You take on the Ravens. Calvin, who you got?
Lamar's playing this Chicago team. I think they're 4-2. They could easily be 2-4. That the Washington game, in the not talking about the Dallas game, but it was another game in which they kind of won in a weird fashion. Lamar plays. I don't think I'm not as worried about this offense putting up as many points on defense. And it's been weird vibes around the Ravens team this week about how there seems to be back in Zach Orr and they're going at Monken on offense all of a sudden. Like Zach Orr is putting us in the right position. We're just not playing it. We're just not, playing defense right. It makes no damn sense. But look, I've seen Lamar make sugar out of a lot of other ish. So I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt. I got Ravens this week.
Justin, who you got?
You can take that sweet tasting shit to yourself. I wouldn't want none of that. And I think Caleb. I think Caleb. We're 5-2. I think Caleb is going to play a phenomenal game. I think Caleb is going to exercise some demons there. I think Swift is going to have a phenomenal night day. And honestly, I think Lamar Jackson. Luckily, he comes back.
Is Swift playing?
Who?
Swift playing? He missed any practice today. I know he got a groin or something.
It's Wednesday. Come on,
Yeah.
Never know.
But no, so with that being said, I'm also going with the Ravens to win this game.
We're gonna be wrong. We're gonna be wrong together.
we're not gonna have Lamar sit out this much time, and once he comes back, he doesn't win. Lamar wins that first game back. Others, let's talk about it later, but he wins the first game back. I give him that.
Let's go, baby. The season starts this Sunday, baby. The season starts this Sunday. So, folks, this full disclosure, to be the first home game that I've missed since I was in Jamaica a few years ago. I will not be working this Sunday. I have an obligation at my church. So I will be watching this game as a fan. And I think that me being able to concentrate and give the Ravens my full attention will be the reason why this team goes on to victory. I think Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry back together playing off each other. Derrick will be so happy to see Lamar. Like, bro, finally, somebody take a little pressure off.
He had 100 yards 2 weeks ago when he played.
He needs 200 yards. Anyway, I think it will be phenomenal to get this connection back. The receivers, he had 2 fumbles last time we saw him. I think he'll make sure to hold on to that football. And the key to the Ravens' second half resurgence will be Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. Those 2 tight ends will be the reason why this team goes on a run. Write that down. Roquan practicing full strength today. That had me looking good. We are going to be back. Yes, the Ravens are back this Sunday. I won't take that much time on the rest of these games. I know it's close to 11. All right, next up, Minnesota and the Chargers. I'm going with the Vikings. The Chargers look like they're going downhill quickly. Justin,
Thursday night, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Justin, who you got?
Night games. I'm going with Minnesota as well. Until Chargers prove they can run the ball, I think they're open to easy to get defeated. So let's go with that.
Calvin.
I'm going against my better judgment. Going with Minnesota. I'm tired of relying on Chargers. They can't run the ball. They're just not consistent, and you can't run the ball in an offense meant to run the ball. That's not a good sign. Even though they are at home, I'm going with the Minnesota.
Next up, the Dallas Cowboys travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Justin, who you got?
We should be split some kind of way on this one. Let's go with Denver. I just think they have they're gonna be all right. They the way they won 33 points in a quarter, they just gotta score a few more points in other quarters, and then they'll be just fine. Sean Payton is going to bounce back for a full game dominance. And hey, man, this is I don't know, but this should be must-see TV. I would love to see PS2 going against the wide receivers out of Dallas. We'll see what that can do.
It's gonna be good. Calvin, who you got?
I'm gonna go Dallas. I don't know if this pass happy Denver offense. I think there's make too many mistakes. They'll score points. I think this had a chance to be the high scoring game of the weekend. I just think Dallas has more weapons on offense and can score a little bit faster. You don't even have to go to Pat Surtain's side. And I know the Denver defensive line is pretty formidable as well. But I do like the matchup of Pickens on their wide receiver too, or CD when you get him in the slot. So I'm gonna go with Dallas.
I think that Denver defense has been very overrated thus far in this season. They have not looked that good to me. I think Dallas will score some points, but it's in Denver. After that big win last week, that could be a momentum type deal. I'm going with the Broncos at home. I like the Cowboys offense. I just don't like that defense. And I think that two-headed monster at running back with the Broncos, I think even though I wasn't able to get a touchdown last week by J.K. Dobbins and it cost me a lot of money, I still think that they'll be able to do what they need to do to win this game. I'm going with the Denver Broncos. Next up, New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Calvin,
Rematch in Philadelphia. I don't think I don't think Jackson Dart and Scatterbo will be able to repeat their performance from a couple weeks ago in the Meadowlands. So I'm gonna go with Philadelphia.
Okay, I'm going with the Eagles as well. I think they continue to exploit that Giants defense, which showed to be very soft last week, giving up 33 points in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. Justin.
I was so confident on the Eagles when they played them before. Lost that, but I will continue to go with the Eagles on this one. They cannot do it twice, bro. I'm sorry, they cannot play like that twice against this team. I refuse to believe it. I can't believe it.
Next up, the Buffalo Bills travel to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Bills look like they've been on a slide here lately, have not been playing the same type of game, losing 2 games before the bye. They had to bye.
Carolina, another victory.
They look like they sharp. They look like they ready. Josh Allen looks like he's determined. I saw an interview with him today saying that they got to exercise some demons. But I like Carolina, man. Carolina has been playing some good football. If you've been looking at the teams they've been playing, they beat the Giants when the Giants were doing really good. They beat the Cowboys. And I just think they're playing well, but no, I'm going with the Bills. Justin, who you got?
I was going to let you do that.
I'm also going with the Bills. Carolina's been winning, but I mean, I think they just beat the Jets or something like that. It was a putrid performance. They just happened to win. I'm not, even though I think this team might got 3 or 4 wins. Yeah, Bryce Young is hurt. This might get ugly. This might answer a lot of questions that Josh Allen has, and then he plays somebody tough again, and then they come right back. This is what it does.
That's what I was going to say.
Buffalo.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going no Bryce Young. I don't know if it depends if you think that's a good or bad thing, but Buffalo's coming off there by extra week. They get some defensive players back, but this is the kind of game in which Josh Allen gets right and he gets the conversation back into the MVP race. And then all of a sudden, they'll like you said, they'll play a better. They'll play more competition. And all of a sudden, we see what happened against when they played against Atlanta or something like that. But I'm going Buffalo.
Yeah,
probably the biggest spread of the weekend too.
We'll see. San Francisco travels to Houston to take on Texans. Now, this San Francisco team we just talked about, they make your head scratch. Houston's defense still put up a lot of fantasy points the other day. That's how I won my game. But it's hard to wrap your arms around this 49er team, man.
Agreed.
But I'm going, damn it. I'm going with it. At home, I'm going with the Texans. I know that's like going out on a limb. It doesn't even make sense, but that's where I'm going. Calvin, who you got?
As great as San Francisco has been playing with Matt Jones, I think this is going to be the best defense that they played, and they're in
defense
Houston.
Still playing well. Yeah.
I do think Houston can run the ball enough. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with Houston because they're at home, and I think this is the best defense San Francisco will play with Matt Jones. So I'm going Houston.
Justin.
I am going with the 49ers.
That's where you close the gap. There you go.
Yeah. Shout out to Christian McCaffrey. He plays so well. Anyone that had him on the fantasy should have won. But things happen. So I think he continues that. I think he continues that performance. and I think Matt Jones helps them out this particular week. And I do think they take the Houston Texans.
All right, next up, the Cleveland Browns travel to New England. Quiet as it's kept. The Patriots have been, we talked about the Colts. The Patriots are the surprise of the AFC East. Right now, they're in a dogfight with the Bills. The Browns got a win last week where a lot
Against
of people.
Who? Okay.
Yeah. Who did they beat?
They beat Miami.
Oh, yeah. It was the Dolphins. What, they two or do another 3 interceptions. But that Browns defense is eating, man. They look good. But if you look at the numbers, the New England Patriots had the number 2 passing offense in the whole entire NFL.
Very surprising.
That is ridiculous. Like that boy Butte or whatever his name is, and Stephon Diggs, and man,
Booty.
They gunning, man. Give the young quarterback his due. I'm going with the Pats at home, man. They hot. I'm going with it.
I agree.
Who you got? You not going my order for me, Justin.
We got damn, what's the boy name? The quarterback from Cleveland. What's his name? Dillon Gabriel.
Dillon Gabriel.
He might be the dink and dunk master right now. I mean, he don't want to extend it too far, pause, but he he gets the job done. I think him and the rookie, the running back, they're gonna meticulously run the ball and do what they need to do here. Shout out to Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy might have a decent performance this upcoming game. And their defense plays lights out, man. And Patriots are without I mean, I won't say without, but Stephon Diggs is not 100%. I gotta see how he does throughout this particular week of practice. And Drake gonna have to see that defensive line from Cleveland, and he's gonna score. So we're going with the Patriots.
Calvin, what you got?
Going to Pats. Like you said, the second passing game in the league right now. Dillon Gabriel and Quinshawn Brooks are Quinshawn Brooks Jenkins. Quinshawn Brooks, Quinshawn Jenkins. Why am I forgetting his last name? But he looks good. He looks good. Since they allowed him to get that starting role, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to Pats, especially at home.
Yeah, I just think we'll see when they play Buffalo again, but
they'll be at home. They beat Buffalo in Buffalo, right?
They beat them in Buffalo, yeah. Next up, the Green Bay Packers travel to Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers goes back. No. This game is in Pittsburgh. So, no. Green Bay comes to Pittsburgh to take on Pack. That's what I thought, too. But when I looked at the lineup, I'll double-check that.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I knew it was right. Justin, who you got in this game?
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Aaron Rodgers, man, he gets up for games like this. He still don't like Green Bay, still don't like the way he got ousted out. The coach is still over there. So you can see some antics from him. They still have DK, and DK's been playing. He's been having a decent season, quiet as it kept. And their running game. Warren got off a little bit, so that's definitely promising. So I just don't think Green Bay they don't have everything clicking. This could be one of them games that spearhead them into the right direction. But I think they catch the L this week.
Calvin, who you got?
I'm starting to think that Pittsburgh Steelers defense is a little bit overrated. And I think they further get exposed in this game. I'm going Green Bay. I don't think this is going to be, the numbers of Cincinnati and Pittsburgh last week, but I do think since Green Bay will be able to duplicate just the volume of passes to their receivers. Josh Jacobs, if healthy, I think he'll have a great game as well. I'm just not as high on Pittsburgh, and I think they can be guys, especially in the run game, especially up the middle with their linebackers. Not saying who's there. He used to be in Baltimore, but I've seen a lot of them. But I'm going Green Bay.
Yeah. Wow. It's a tough one, man. So you went one way, you went the other. I'm going with the Pack. I think the Pack, as much as I criticize the quarterback, I just think that from that defense perspective, I don't like what I've been seeing out of Pittsburgh. And this has been consistent the last 3 weeks, to be honest with you. They luckily got that win in London. But, yeah, I don't like it. We'll see. DK Metcalf, he needs to be featured a little bit more. But the running game, if Josh Jacobs is healthy, they can run the football. So Patrick Queen is your linebacker. I mean, he's stretched. It's going to happen. It is what it is. So the bye weeks are starting to pick up now. You got the Raiders, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams all out on buys this week. So it's not as many games. So that late 4 o'clock, last week's 4 o'clock window was some of the best, most exhilarating red zone football I've seen it forever, man.
Between Denver, and the Giants, and then when the Cowboys started scoring.
Yeah, it was just fun to watch. Yeah. So, that's pretty much all the big games because, like I say, almost every game we talked about was the big games of the week. See if Flacco can keep what he did up against the Jets, most likely. Can the Falcons bounce back against Miami? That'll be interesting to see if two of them actually correct. The Chargers, the Chiefs will host the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football.
No
JD5, so it's not as exhilarating. That probably would have been a big matchup if JD5 was playing. But other than that, it should be another good week of football. Next week, when you tune in here, we're going to go over our superlatives for the year, looking back at our predictions preseason, looking at who our midseason awards will go to, and start looking at Pro Bowlers and all that kind of stuff. So midway through the season, we'll pull up the list that we created before the season started. It's crazy that it's damn near November. Next week is Halloween. So we'll go over that next week. Getting ready for the home stretch. It used to be, right perfect middle, but now since it's 17 instead of 16, can't necessarily say it's exactly in the middle, but it is what it is. And we'll take you on down to the regular season. Fantasy football, we're not going to go through the rest of it. We went real long on that Philadelphia argument, so it took up time. Thanks to Calvin and Justin because they just won't admit they wrong. So last week I went against Justin one-on-one in our big league, and I went to bed thinking it was over. I really did. My hand to the man. I thought I lost. I didn't even watch the end of that late game. I went to bed. Like, well, why would I? I'm like, all I had was Seattle's defense left. He had players. You had a couple players still left to play, didn't you? So I just went on the bed.
I was pretty much done. I just had a decent lead, but it was definitely within shot. Let's call it what it is. Matthew Stafford saved your ass. That performance great. That he did
That's my backup
in London or whatever it was.
Josh Allen didn't play.
Yeah, your starting quarterback wouldn't have done that. That was I was like,
that's Seattle defense. They gave you like 50 points.
Hell of a pickup.
Listen, everything
his
that
defense had great points too. His defense had great points. Yeah, like
I'm not knocking none of that. I just did not expect without Puka Nacua that Matthew was going to have 5 touchdowns. I was like, okay, I'll give him 2 to 3. Everybody, you got a projection. I'm like 2 to 3 touchdowns. I'll be cool. 5. God.
Yo, that matchup was probably the craziest matchup you'll see all year. Everybody else scoring like 300. We both had like phenomenal numbers. Like that was crazy, to be honest with you. Let's quickly review it. I know we're late in the hour, but he scored 342. I scored 351. And if you don't know about our league, we are a little bit more higher scoring than some of these other leagues you might be in. So that sounds like, how y'all score that many points? But traditionally, most people around maybe the 275, 280, you might crack 300 on a good week. 351 to 342. This man had Patrick Mahomes put up 84 points, and he want to talk about Matthew Stafford.
And you had McCaffrey.
Yes.
Shout out to them.
You had like 30 touches on Sunday night.
60 points from
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter low-key A2.
Look, Travis Hunter is quietly one of the best pickups because you get the receiver numbers at DB. So you get another receiver.
Well, he's not playing DB, so
I'm just saying, but you can put him at DB though. That's the thing. You can put him at DB.
Your problem was you got nothing from a lot of people, but you had big performances from certain people. Because your defense, you talking about my Seattle defense, your Carolina defense had more than me.
I didn't talk about him.
You're right.
The thing that hurt, like the Worthy, like Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice back.
Oh Lord,
Worthy ain't getting no targets.
Yeah,
I didn't.
He's supposed to be eating.
I didn't expect that.
Even with handoffs, rushing, he's supposed to be eating.
Forcing Rashee Rice the ball. I didn't start him last week. I didn't start him, and I'm like, okay. You in the lineup from here on out now.
No,
Can't take him out.
He's him for them. For
Yeah.
them, he's him.
Yeah.
As I said earlier.
It's going to be fun watching it down the stretch. Like I say, my team is balanced, but I still don't have that home run hitter at running back. So I put in a trade for Tim. He ain't responding to my shit yet. So we're going to find out.
No. I play Tim this week. I'm gonna veto that. We ain't making no side deals. Hey,
I want Mark Andrews. I said, Tim, give me Mark Andrews because Brock Bowers ain't played in weeks. That's what I'm missing.
You know, I got Brock Bowers in about 5 of my other leagues.
It's ridiculous.
I thought the backup putting them numbers though.
I don't know. I don't have them. I got K. Otten.
I don't know, but when you get Brock Bowers, you expect wide receiver numbers.
Exactly. Right. That's what you get him that early. I drafted him early.
You draft accordingly because
I had McBride last week when he's putting up numbers. I was not upset.
Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to trade for Mark Andrews. I think you're gonna have a great
what's next, man? It's 2 hours.
No, we
2 hours and 9
done,
minutes.
man. It's over. It's after 11 o'clock. No wrestling tonight. We'll talk about wrestling next week, but a lot of stuff happened this past week. Got a big matchup between Jey Uso, CM Punk going to determine the World Heavyweight Championship. But it's not coming up till Saturday Night Main Event. We can talk about that next week.
Who you got Saturday? Quick UFC. I don't know where the hell they fighting at, but just come on.
Abu Dhabi, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Who fighting?
Aspinall and
Tom Aspinall. Yeah. Ain't no doubt. He ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But folks, we thank you for hanging in there. 11-13 again. You can blame Calvin and Justin because they want to go back and forth about Jalen Hurts all night. But that kind of takes time. I'm not going to stop
next week.
Look, I really want to get Jalen Hurts on the show. So I'm going to reach out to his representatives. And I want him to come on here. And I want y'all to tell this man the same thing y'all say to him when he watch y'all video every week online. It's disrespectful to the brother. It's disrespectful.
I also want to extend an invitation to Lamar Jackson and apologize to his face that people on this panel compared him to Jalen Hurts.
Lamar Jackson has a great respect for Jalen Hurts because he's an NFL champion.
No, you said
MVP.
You said he's better.
I didn't say
Jalen Hurts is better.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
No, you
It's on tape.
You said he was better.
That's what you did.
I never said that.
You said he was better.
You said he was better.
That's
crazy.
I never said that. He's 2-time MVP. Should have been 3. And we'll never disrespect that man that way. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you all, and we thank you for everything. But you ain't won no Super Bowl yet. Win a Super Bowl, Lamar. How about that? And we'll be back next week, Wednesday night.
Don't forget. Be the hater.
I ain't no hater. I love Lamar Jackson, but Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the Super Bowl. That's all that matters. And we'll see you next week for another edition. Get off the damn fence. Have a good night.